What's going on, friends? It's Anton Daniels, and I gotta have a conversation with you guys about Tiege Hanley because you see how the sun is hitting me. This is no finesse, no makeup, no filters, no none of that. This is 100% Tiege Hanley. I use it in the morning as soon as I get up, right after I pray and brush my teeth, jump in the shower, and I'm hitting the streets because you never get a second chance to make a first impression. So even though they're giving you 40% off your first order, 20% off for life, even though you may get a free gift, forget all that, right? Because we would do this even if it was full price because it's worth that much. I'm in the streets, I'm kicking it with people when I see Dusties everywhere. You don't want to be them. You want to separate yourself. And the way that you separate yourself is self-care. Ladies get it for the fellas. Fellas don't wait for the ladies to get it for you. I'm about to hit the streets right now and I'm feeling confident. I'm feeling great. I mean, I already got confidence, but to have that extra boost of confidence, knowing that you've taken care of yourself and you set yourself apart from all of the rest of the sheep that's walking around making bad decisions on a daily basis. And it's reflected in their actions. It's reflected in the products that they use. It's reflected in the people that they follow. And so if you're trying to level up, if you're trying to make sure that you look good, they're going to send you the pack. They're going to give you all of the instructions on how you're supposed to use it. Then make sure you get your Tiege Hanley. Again, 40% off your first order, 20% off for life. Get your free gift. Make sure you tap in with your boy Anton Daniels because Unc is never going to lead you wrong. I would never have you use a product that I don't use myself. Again, they've been rocking with me for a long time. Make sure you get your Tiege Hanley. I love you. I appreciate you. I'm going to holler at you guys later. What's going on is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me. Thank you for tuning in for another edition of the Millionaire Morning Show. I'm your host, Anton Daniels. What's going on, friends? What up? What up? What up? What up? What up? How y'all feel? How many of y'all actually enjoyed the show yesterday? I thought it was a great show, a phenomenal show. How y'all doing? I see you, Pam. I'm gonna read some of the super chat shortly. Last night's show was incredible. Yesterday was a mixed bag in general, and I'm gonna tell you why it was a mixed bag. It was a mixed bag because on one front, my Pistons lost, so I'm absolutely destroyed and distraught about that. However, it was a good season. And Jalen Brunson truly showed what he was made of. So shout out to Jalen Brunson. We had a few players that were injured, Jaden Ivey, Isaiah Stewart, and stuff like that. But I think we're gonna have a great season next year, and we have a really young group, and so I'm excited for what's to come on that front. On the other hand, I think that we had a great after hours. I'm really excited about after hours, y'all. I'm excited about after hours. I'm really excited about after hours because I think that the platform, it's like the Anton Daniels channel. I love the Anton Daniels channel because that was my very first channel. And then I love the Millionaire Morning Show because I get to live stream with you guys every day on a solo tip and give you my thoughts from a financial and political perspective. But after hours, I'm excited for it because I'm excited for the group. You know, it's like all of your kids. And then I got the Darth Anton channel. I'm excited for that one because the vlog is about to go into a completely different space with me vlogging in different locations and really documenting the different cities that I visit, both in the nation and across the globe. And I was looking at some different locations. Shout out to the Patreon members that joined yesterday because the day I'm posting, I said that wherever it is that I selected, I'm gonna go. Whoever guess it, which I think it's gonna be difficult for some of y'all to guess. Whoever guess it, I'm gonna basically give them $100, but I'm gonna post that today. It was so late, I didn't even get home until like 4:30 in the morning last night from the studio because I was live streaming from the studio. But it's like all of them are your babies, but all of them are your babies for different reasons. And when I get the opportunity to be able to live stream with my family, and I consider the people on After Hours my family, it's exciting. It's great. It's really fun. And so we work really hard. We work really hard to make sure that you guys are entertained, that we give you our thoughts. We put our reputations, our lives on the line, our safety. And so it's great. It is great. But I am excited. So what's going on? Kristen Marie says, blessings to AD. What's the vlog channel? I've never been able to find it. It's Darth Anton, but the A in Darth is really a V. It's an upside down A. So it's Darth Anton with a V replacing an A in Darth. So somebody put the vlog channel inside of the chat for the people to check out. That's the real channel right there, in my opinion. So yeah, man, it's great. Y'all probably get about 25% of my life on the Darth Anton channel. It's crazy behind the scenes. I don't release the other footage out behind the scenes. What's up, Christian Marie? What up, Azriel, Purple Haze, your car, all of my friends? There it is inside of the chat, Darth Anton. It's a crazy channel, but it's about to go to another level because I'm gonna be documenting my journeys as far as outside of Detroit and what I do and what my life is really like. So yeah, man, everything is all of it is my baby, and I'm excited for it. And we got Block Club this weekend, so I'm excited for that. Shout out to Myron Gaines for tapping in yesterday on After Hours because that was some great discussions. And we get it popping. We really get it popping. Room 9 was revamped into the Darth Anton channel. So, all right, y'all. Y'all ready to get started with the show? Quentin is in the building. Shout out to Quentin. It was a funny show last night. We be talking about some wild stuff. So shout out to Quentin. Any housekeeping? Tap into the Patreon. The best time to join the Patreon is the beginning of the month. But that goes without saying. I don't know if it's any other housekeeping. We got After Hours tonight. That should be getting it in. I think I'm gonna be in a different city next week, so we'll see how that plays out. And life is good. All right, y'all. Let's go ahead and get started with the show. I want to acknowledge the people that support the platform on Cash App first. Shout out to Trini Life, says blessings to you and Rita and Leslie. I appreciate you, Trini Life. Says Myron on Cash App, not the Myron Games, but Myron, another Myron, says God put you in my life for a reason. I've made too many people rich. It's my time. Facts. And you upgraded my perspective and my point. Shout out to Myron on Cash App. I appreciate you, big dog. Thank you for holding me down. VNT. Shout out to VNT. 218 last night says, thank you for bringing him on today. I guess he was talking about Myron Gaines. Shout out to VNT. I appreciate you. And then I also want to give a shout out to my dog, Mike That Dude. Shout out to Mike That Dude on Cash App. One of the most consistent people I've ever seen in my entire life. I'm going to read some of y'all super chats and then we're going to jump into the show. Why is Harvard tax a profit? Why is Harvard tax a for-profit tax exempt? I'm guessing what you asking me, why is Harvard a tax exempt school? Because it's a nonprofit organization. So most universities are a nonprofit organization, even if it's a private college. Jay Ben says, Mama always told me to stay fumble free. Happy Friday. That's a fact. I'm with that. Pam says, Anton met with my Fidelity advisor yesterday and purchased a few Republic Services shares. With my simple IRA, advisor looked through all of the numbers and said he might buy some shares too. Pam, listen, first of all, I'm excited for you, Pam. But secondly, Pam, don't be giving away the tips that we talk about inside the Stock Club. Pam, you know better than that. Pam, hold on, Pam. I know you're trying to help the people. I know you're trying to give them some game on what we talk about inside the Stock Club and how we run up the bag. I know your Fidelity advisor is 100% in agreement with what we talk about because the numbers is beautiful. The numbers work out. The things that we talk about inside the Stock Club, the 8 things that we look for when we look to invest in a company, the charts are gorgeous. Pam, don't you give out no more information that we talk about on Stock Club. Don't do it, Pam. Don't you do it. Pam, don't you give out another tip. And see, you can verify the stuff that I say in Stock Club, even with your advice. I'm your favorite advisor's favorite advisor. I'm your favorite advisor's favorite advisor. I know your advisors is going to look at what I say and say, no, you know what? Let me get a couple shares for myself. Don't you do it, Pam. Nope. Don't do no more tips. Nothing for nobody else outside of if you're a bag chaser. If you're not a part of the Patreon, I teach you how to look for the things to invest in. I don't just tell you what to do. So shout out to Pam for making that investment. Abundance Mind says, my God, can I get some of that after hours action? I don't know. I don't know. Rahi Dash says, "What's up, AD? I'm a truck driver and always rewatch after hours 4 a.m. when I start driving. It was a dope show last night. It was incredible." I put timestamps in there for y'all too. Mr. Lot says, "What up, though, to the Chasers taking an exam for the Microsoft Azure certification tomorrow. Let's run it up." Shout out to you, Mr. Lot, running it up. Enos Luby says, "After hours was fire, precipitously pernicious, ambiguous, serendipitous. A big show needs big words. I don't remember any of these words in room 9. Oh, shout out to y'all. Shout out to the stock club people. Shout out to the block club people. We doing block club. We doing block club this weekend. So yeah. GM stock market. Good morning. The stock market is booming. I'm covering gains as we speak. Yo, the stock market from the drop that people was complaining about. Remember when I told y'all to buy the dip and I went over in stock club exactly the companies that we was looking at? It is more than fully recovered. Remember when everybody was sitting there whining about their portfolio or about what the stock market was doing? None of those people actually understood what was going on. And I said, listen, y'all, it's the biggest buying opportunity of all time. We have fully recovered from the lows that happened when the tariffs first hit in the beginning of January. I mean, in the beginning of April. And we've basically made a ton of money as a result of buying it. Again, we don't look at the news and we don't look at things and say, you know what? Oh my God, everything is falling. Oh, no. It's a buying opportunity. It's a buying opportunity. If you did not benefit from it, if you were sitting there like, I can't believe the tariffs is doing this, man, let me tell you something, bro. I literally just paid for my navigator. I already paid for my navigator in April just from buying the dip. Just from buying the dip, we've already paid for the navigator. You want to know how easy it is to make money? Making money is like printing money. If you know how to do it and you have the understanding of it and you actually are part of Stock Club and Bag Chasers, I can't believe that y'all don't make this money. And we do it without even leaving our house. Just breathing. You make the same amount of money as somebody that's going to work and killing themselves every day because we were disciplined enough to make sure that we didn't have debt so that we can reinvest in ourselves and take advantage of what happens in the market. And so while everybody else was sitting there, Anton, you going to talk about the stock market? Yeah, I'll talk about the stock market 100%, especially with my back chasers because they're the ones that's going to benefit from the game. It's a change in mentality that translates into the money that we make. I just can't believe that y'all didn't buy the dip. I can't believe that y'all didn't benefit off of it. I can't believe it. If from April 2nd, April 3rd, all the way up until now, it is more than recovered and my portfolio is booming. And when I say booming, I mean booming. I just can't believe people didn't benefit from it. They gave you one of the biggest alley-oops of all time. And I told you, I said, man, this is the biggest alley-oop of all time. I cannot believe that you guys are not taking advantage of this. And you know what they did? They sat there with their hands in their pockets. They complained about it. In the meanwhile, we just going to go ahead and run up that bag. That's on you. It's on you. I give you the game, I tell you what's going on, and everybody is just, I can't believe it. I can't believe that y'all not benefiting from this game. So if you're not a part of the Patreon, if you're not a part of Block Club, if you're not a part of the people that are looking at the temporary dips in the market as a buying opportunity, then sucks for you. Honest to God, sucks for you. It really sucks for you. Link to the Patreon is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. Let me look at a couple more super chats and we're going to run it up. Like Mike says, Trump is doing all of this for Israel. Surprise MAGA is down for this. 904 to Don says, man, the comments at the end about Slimmy had me crying. Y'all ain't got no chill. Jewel Appleby Soap Company says, morning AD, we were approved to offer more of our products on Amazon Fumble on a Friday. Never. Shout out to the Bag Chasers. I like that. If y'all, I want to meet y'all in person. Also, you know, I was reading angry comments on Instagram, TikTok, and even some of them on YouTube of people that get bothered by me. And sometimes even I'm amazed at how bothered people are about the things that I say on this platform. It's very weird because it is, for all of the people that love me and for all of the people that subscribe to me, there's a lot of people that don't necessarily care for me. It's weird, but it's Friday. And I know that they don't like the fact that I buy name brand products because they say, "Oh man, it's all made in the same factory, and you shouldn't do it, and you're a pompous asshole if you decide that you want to buy these products, and they're gonna unsubscribe and stuff like that." I'm gonna be honest, I don't give a fuck. Oh man, yeah, I unsubscribed from him because I like his investment advice, but I don't like his opinions on he feel like he talked down to people. I don't give a fuck. I genuinely don't. Like I am the most unbothered, ungive a fuck wittable man probably on YouTube right now. I don't care. Yo, I have the type of money that, and this is really gonna piss you off when I say this type of stuff. I have the type of money right now to where I don't even look at the numbers no more. It's just insane. There's nowhere I can't go, nothing I can't buy. It's nothing that I worry about. My family is taken care of. I was looking at a comment today. I see you, Chris. I see you, Chris. I was looking at the comment today, this morning, and one of the reoccurring themes is people saying stuff like, "Oh yeah, I can't wait for God to humble him." Do you realize that God is not on your side? He's on my side. That's why I'm rich and you poor. God loves me. He loves me. He adores me. God is on my side. He's not a real Christian. Well, who do I have to prove that to? Do I have to prove that to you, or do I continue to have the conversations with Jesus every day? Listen, let me tell you what Jesus told me to tell you. He told me to tell you, if you don't like it, suck my dick. I don't care. I genuinely, and I say that with everything within me, because the people that get it, and the people that don't, it just is what it is. I wake up and I'm just like in bliss every day. It is so beautiful. And I hate, like, when I look outside, when I wake up, this is the same view every single day. I wake up and I just look and I say, God damn, look at all of this shit. Look at all of this. I don't know. I don't know. I say, AD, repent right now. Suck my dick. For what? For what? Repent for what? For who? To y'all? Who am I repenting to? You? Mm, the biggest freedom that you will have in life. And then we're gonna go ahead and get started with the show. No, Chris, you keep telling me to be nice. No, we had this conversation before. The biggest thing that you guys will learn one day is the true freedom is not caring. Honest to God. The minute that you release yourself from the shackles of what the community may think, what your relatives may think, what YouTube or commenters, because you got to remember, like, I have an army of people that adore me and I adore them back because they get it. The minute that you stop trying to please everybody and you start focusing on what makes the most sense for you is the minute that you unlock life. Life is unlocked. I am honest to God telling you, when you can walk down the street with a camera in front of your face and don't care about who's looking at you, When you can jump online and get your true thoughts and not have to worry about a lot of those same people that's in the comments, the reason that they like faceless is because they can't say what they want to say or they're going to get fired from their job. I don't have that restriction on me. I'm not worried about a job. I'm not worried about people. It's insane. It's honest. I wish y'all could feel this level of. I wish y'all could feel this level of freedom. Honestly, real talk. I wish you could feel this level of freedom. It is freeing. It is absolutely freeing. It's one of the most freeing things that I've ever felt in my entire life. This one is already. It's freeing. It's 100% freeing. Real talk. It's great. It is. It's great. You guys got to stop worrying about what everybody else thinks. You just got to live life on your terms, how you do it, as long as you're doing it the right way. Focus on living life. It's freeing. It's absolutely freeing. Y'all want to go ahead and run it up? Y'all ready to get started with the show? What you know about the cigar lounge over there by Michigan Avenue, car? Lisa says, please don't say you favored by God over others. That never ends well. Ends well for who? I've been saying that for my whole life. I've been winning my whole life. I am absolutely. It's easy for me to say I'm favored by God over others because you're doing the work of the devil and I'm doing the work of Jesus. And I'm leading people to financial success and you know what I'm saying, and salvation and giving you the game and running it up and putting money in people's pockets. Yes, I am a better steward. I am a better person. I'm winning over you. I am winning. And I'm sure that there are some people that are winning over me. Life is a competition. It is not equal. I do not want participation trophies. I just want to keep winning. I was winning in 08 because God was prepping me and preparing me for what success looks like. He was giving me the character. See, you think that just because I went broke in 08 that I wasn't winning. I was winning. God had, look, if God hadn't removed me, if I hadn't lost my job in 08, I'm not as successful as I am today. I needed to be removed from the steel plant. In hindsight, it was the greatest thing that ever happened to me. Getting removed from my job, moving out of me, God moving me out of the way, and saying, listen, you take this lesson. Let me give you some understanding. Let me sit you down and put you in your Bible. Let me show you some sales tactics. Let me give you some perseverance. Let me develop your character so you can handle what great successes could come for you. I was always destined to be rich for my life. I was always destined to be successful. I needed those other intangibles that allowed for me to really develop and become the man that I am today. And that is why I went through what I went through in 08. He was preparing me for greatness. He said, let me show you what a real man looks like. Let me show you how to have thick skin. Let me show you how not to worry about what everybody else looks like. Let me give you a little bit of humility. Let me give you a little bit of character. It wasn't about the money. It was about what he was preparing me for. My journey is my journey. There is no man and no person in the comments that can tell me on a video that can tell me that that God is going to take away what God has already promised me. It's in my DNA. It's written. It's already written what I'm going to be. I was predestined to be what I was going to be before the formation of this earth. There is no man that could take it from me. I don't subject myself to the comments. That don't bring me closer to God. The only thing that I answer to is God. Listen, the whole world can be against me. The whole world can be against me. As long as God is for me, who could be against me? Y'all so weak. Y'all so scary. Y'all so scared to say it and to be it and to stand up. And in the face of opposition, you want to be just like everybody. I don't care. I don't want to be like everybody else. I don't want to go on a pathway that's wide that everybody else is taking. I want to go on a pathway that's narrow. I'm not interested in being, I don't want to be a part of the crew. I don't want to be in the in crowd. I don't care what everybody else thinks. I don't care. Why would I subject myself to people who need my advice on how they need to get their life together? I seen a guy the other day. I'll give you an example and then we can get into the show. I seen a guy the other day trying to tell me that I was wrong, which I never solicited his advice, but he was trying to humble me, trying to tell me that I am wrong on how it is that I go about raising my daughter, how it is that I'm wrong on how it is that I talk about finances and how I include God in it, and I need to remove that from my content. This guy has multiple baby mothers, is on child support daily, trying to figure out where he's going to live on a month-to-month basis, and regularly gets himself arrested. Now, think about this for a second, because this could be the prototype of people that are telling me that I need to be humble. People that are making and taking self-inflicted wounds, that are making bad decisions every single day, and telling me, why would I give a fuck about what they think? You would be amazed at the type of problems that people have in their life, but they find time to say certain things. And I'm with it. I'm with it. I want all the smoke. Every piece of smoke that you got, we smoking. Every piece of smoke that you got, I'm with it. But you wouldn't know this unless you actually start to dip into their profile. It was a guy, it's another guy. I seen him and he was in my comments. And so sometimes I catch it and then I'll click on their profile or I'll start deep diving into who they are because I want to know what these people's lives are like. And so it was a black saying that I wasn't for the people and you weak and you a sellout and all of this. And this is the honest to God truth. I went to his stuff and then I was able to track down and see exactly who his girl was because he had tagged her in one of his little TikToks or whatever. I went to his girl profile page. No cap. She was posting a video. She had just posted a video like 12 hours ago of secretly recording him being belligerent and beating the fuck out of her. She had the little line, when you recovering from a black eye, she had that line right here. And one of the things, and listen, I'm gonna just be for real. It's Friday. One of the things she was saying is, why I gotta give you some head in order to sleep here tonight. That's what she was saying. And she was basically accusing him of beating the shit out of her. So, and I'm like, wait a minute, this same dude was just in my comments talking about how I'm not for the people. So you could beat the hell out of your chick and make her force her to do things that she don't even want to do. And you for the black community? You beating the hell out of your baby mama, but you gonna sit here and hold me, bro. I don't pay no attention to these people. These people got real life issues. These are demons. These are straight up demons in their real life. Don't let the smooth taste fool you. Don't let the smooth taste fool you. As transparent as I am, I live my whole life as an open book. These people are demons in real life. They beating the crap out of their chicks. So I don't just go and just regularly support people just because you black. Oh man, we're gonna just support him. They black and he black and black. Man, he beating the crap out of his chick and he kicked his kid down the stairs. And he just got out of jail 2 years ago. But you think he went to jail because he was a saint? Crazy. Crazy. You gotta let go. Release yourself from the shackles. Release yourself from the shackles of what you think that people expect from you. It will 100% give you everything that you need in order to empower yourself to go forward. Release yourself. You don't owe anybody nothing. You don't owe your mama. You don't owe your friends. You don't owe none of that. You don't owe nobody none of that. And the people that get it, get it. And the people that don't. We got over 15,000 Patreon members. Let me see something. Let me see what my bag chaser numbers are. I think it's approaching 16,000, to be honest with you. Oh my God. If God be for me, who can be against me? We have over 16,614 members and the Patreon members. So you will sit there and you'll say, oh my God, I can't believe how it is that they feel about me and all of this other type of stuff. I can't believe it. I don't like it. I'm aggravated by it. I can't believe what's going on. Why are they feeling some type of way about me? 16,614 members. Remember that. Remember that. 16,614 members. You over here tripping, focusing on the lowest of the low, focusing on the dustiest of the dustiest. Focusing on the dustiest. What you think that these people is joining the bag chasers because they like me? They join the bag chasers because they see the value. Because we make millionaires over here, baby. We get people good jobs. We pour into their businesses. We give them understanding from a real estate perspective. We show them the stocks to be able to invest in. We give them the best information when it comes to content creation. These people they don't just, yeah, they may love me, but they also love what I do for them. I'm a value add. That's the difference. I don't talk to people that just take up oxygen and just take up air for the sake of breathing and they add nothing in society. How many people they employ? How much money they put in somebody's pocket? How many families' lives are they changing? I don't look at them and think that they greater than me. I know the value that I add. You think people is just rocking with me for the sake of rocking with me? They rock with me because they love what it is that I add. I'm a value add. That's it. I am an asset to people. Love me, hate me. You may not like my rhetoric, but you absolutely got to respect I'm a value add. Breezy, suck my dick. And don't mute him. Don't time him out. People should be able to say what they want to say. It's Friday. If you want to rock out with a stream that don't do a morning monologue and take up some time to say what I want to say when I want to say it, then go and fuck it with somebody else. Go and get with another. It is what Breezy. Suck dick. That's it. Suck dick. Y'all ready to get started with the show? Oh, I said what I said. And let them rock out. And then I'm going to say thank you, Jesus, right after that. Make sure I hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Jim Short says, crash out last night from Slimmy was great. Slimmy in the caveman voice. Panel thinks Slimmy dumb. Slimmy not dumb. Panel gas like Slimmy. Tune in tonight. Slimmy is that guy. Slimmy is smart as hell. I don't know what y'all talking about. Morning Anton and the Chasers definitely got the big duffel bag from buying a dip. I call it duffel season. Shout out to everybody that took advantage of it. Quality Zam says chasing bags while I'm at the golf course. It's the buyer's market. Facts. Shout out to Ray Sean. Says, hey, Anton, any idea when the tax video? Ray Sean is about them taxes. Ray Sean has made so much money. Ray Sean, I'll talk to you personally this weekend. As far as finding the tax strategies beyond the generic information, I've been searching for months. I got you, Ray Sean. I'm going to call you this weekend. Slimmy was out there bad last night. Slimmy was winning. Uncut Underground says, God blessing all of the trapnik. Shout out to Tad. 392Q says, it's them channels that don't get views without mentioning your name. You basically paying their bills. Shout out to the people. Shout out to the Clippers. Shout out to the Clippers. Master Irrigation says, I've had my own family tell me that when I was down, they were happy. Now I'm up and they mad. Call me arrogant, man. F them. Latrell says, Anton, we putting the haters in the first wave of the gorilla hunt. Facts. AD, didn't know you smoke cigars. Love me a good cigar. Love me a good cigar. Phoenix says, preach, bro. Shout out to my dog, Phoenix. Coach says a lot of projecting by weak-minded people, facts, but off topic, what happened to your team? They lost. They did really well and they lost. The better team won last night. Tell the men to stand up and pee first before talking to you. Hey, don't sit down on the toilet and do a number one. Shout out to Jesse winning. JP says we need a Rolex on each wrist for the Friday show. I might go get some. You know what? That's a good idea. Give me a second. Rosita Attila says, all I can say is thank you, AD. Because of you, I opened up a brokerage account, still learning and on my way to earning. Shout out to you. MP says, much respect to Slimmy standing on business, right or wrong. Shell Shock says, what a way to start off a Friday. Great vengeance and fury. Let's get it. Shout out to everybody that support the platform. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. And let's go ahead and get into the show. All right, y'all. So the first thing that I want to talk about this morning is, before we get into tax-exempt status and Trump and Harvard and Elon Musk and Doge, and Van Jones did a interview with Black Trump supporters to see if they still supporting Trump, and student loans and all of this stuff. I want to revisit this, right? Because I think that this is possibly, thank you, Rhonda. I think that this is possibly one of the biggest fumbles also. And the reason that I say that it's a big fumble is because I went to Houston and I didn't go to the turkey leg hut, but Rita went to the turkey leg hut. And she was like, yeah, man, I keep seeing everybody talking about how great the turkey leg hut is and how good it is and all of this stuff, right? And I'm like, I've never heard of it. I've never heard of the turkey leg hut. What is going on? Why is everybody talking about it? What is this motion that they have? And maybe we need to study them from a business perspective so we can better understand exactly why they have been so successful. Well, one of the things that we're learning, in addition to the fact that they definitely are accused, or he, the guy from the turkey leg hut, is accused, even though they got the people on camera and they found all of the people or whatever, and I did a live stream about it, accused of blowing up the competition across the street, lost his family, got into a spat, filed for bankruptcy, and on top of that, this is to put the cherry on top, wasn't even paying their employees for a long time. They're now saying that the dude was moving weight out of the turkey leg hut. They say the dude was selling drugs out of the hut. So they had lines wrapped around the building, and they fumbled a great brand because they couldn't keep their lives and themselves together and their personal business out of it. Then they started blowing up the competition, and they were selling drugs out of the turkey leg hut. I can't believe it. I just was like, no way, no how. Impossible. So let me go ahead and share it with you guys, and then we're going to go ahead and get into the show. Hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel.
New at 3, bombshell claims in the federal arson case against the former turkey leg hut co-owner. Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us. I'm Andy Serrano.
And I'm Lisa Hernandez. Right now, a judge is deciding whether to keep Lynn Price in custody after prosecutors shared concerns that he threatened a witness or potential jurors. KPRC2's Bryce Newberry live in the newsroom after hours in the courtroom this morning. Bryce.
So now you threaten people. You threatening jurors and the judges now? Oh, Jesus Christ. And you know what the funniest part about this situation? He was actually in a relationship. He was actually in a relationship. He was a full-blown married man with a partnership and all of this other type of stuff. He was taking pictures like the one at the bottom. And this is what happened when you guys just support people for the sake of saying that they Black instead of focusing on the business aspect of it. That's why you got to remove your emotions from it. Dude threatening jurors and judges now.
Yeah, Lisa and Andy, for the former turkey leg hut owner, federal prosecutors say the turkeys have come home to roost. They say for years, Lynn Price has tried to keep his hands clean of crimes, paying off others to do the dirty work, and they want to keep him in custody. During a more than 2-hour hearing, an FBI agent testified that Price paid $1,400 to have his ex-business partner's bar, 5015, blown up nearly 5 years ago. This is surveillance video from that early morning in June of 2020 when masked men poured gasoline all over the patio before that fire.
What you think? They're not going to snitch after you pay them $1,400? Who burning up restaurants and putting their life on the line for $1,400? What type of criminals do you know that's doing this type of thing? That's another thing that I'm curious about. Y'all just doing it for anything. $1,400? Bro, that's not even rent. He didn't even pay your rent for the month. For $1,400, y'all put on some hoodies, grab some gas cans, and you start burning and torching the restaurant right across the street, knowing that it was going to lead right back to you. $1,400. $700 a piece. Jesus Christ. I don't know what kind of dope fiends they out here for right now, but even the dope fiends back in the day, I'm not sure that they was doing this for $1,400.
That then caused an explosion and destroyed the building. An indictment unsealed last week alleges that Lynn Price orchestrated this plan. The owner of that bar allegedly told FBI agents he initially planned to bring Lynn Price into that business, but then decided not to. The owner allegedly turned down a box of cash Lynn Price brought him to be part of the ownership team. And then when Bar 5015 started selling crawfish, apparently using the Turkey Leg Hut supplier, the owner said Lynn Price called screaming and hollering and threatened to blow the place up. So in the past, Lynn Price went to federal prison on tax fraud related charges. Once he got out on supervised release, prosecutors allege that he's been involved in other criminal activity, including paying a co-defendant in this arson case to steal vehicles and heavy machinery. The FBI agent testified under oath that same co-defendant admitted to bringing truckloads of hydro marijuana from California that would be stored at the Turkey Leg Hut and then got sold at the restaurant in custom branded packaging.
So he was using the restaurant like a front, basically. It didn't matter how many customers that they was getting and none of that. The real goal was to move work out of the Turkey Leg Hut. So he put his whole business on the line in order to get some hydro from California and then be able to sell it out of the Turkey Leg Hut for Blue Magic. Blue Magic. It was Blue Magic in out of the Turkey Leg Hut. This is the dumbest thing that I've ever seen in my entire life. And this is why I don't do business with everybody. I don't do business with everybody because I can't. This is the exact reason. When people ask me the question and they say stuff like, but Anton, you wouldn't rock out with them because this is what they, they would actually be, they smart in business. No, because he's going to be selling hydro out of the restaurant that we partner on. No, you cannot do business with everybody. No, all money ain't good money. I'm straight. I'm good. I'm a pass on you, big dog.
Prosecutors allege Lynn Price got the proceeds and gave some of the money to that co-defendant. And while he's not charged connected to those allegations specifically, Price's attorney argues he is not a danger to the community. He's actually helped the community after natural disasters.
Mr. Lyndall Price deserves a bond for various reasons. One, being that he's not a danger to the community. You heard multiple testimony as it relates to his community involvement, the things that he does for the community. But more importantly, the co-defendants that are on his indictment have all been given a bond. So we're asking for equity and asking for a bond similar to the other people on his indictment.
Nope. Keep that dude locked up. Keep him locked up. Don't let him out. Don't pass go. Don't collect $200. No, you're not gonna sit here and tell me you're not a menace to society when you're paying people to blow up restaurants. Get the heck out of here, bro. Nah. He not a menace to society. If he not a menace to society, I don't know who is. It sounds like he running Houston. It sounds like he running Houston. Sound like him and Jay Prince run Houston out here in these streets. He not a menace to society. He does so he do a turkey leg giveaway, and all of a sudden he not a menace to society. Get the heck out of here, bro.
The federal judge ended this hearing by saying there's a lot to think about and she's going to chew on it. We don't yet know when she'll make a decision about keeping Lynn Price in custody.
And Bryce, we understand Lynn Price is accused of another arson in this current indictment. What did you find out about that?
Yeah, Andy, in April of 2020, prosecutors say he paid a co-defendant to steal a 1975 Chevy Nova because Lynn Price wanted the engine out of it. But once they took that truck to the mechanic, they found out it had been stolen from a police officer who owned it. It was then found burned near railroad tracks and a retention pond. Now, around both of these alleged arsons, prosecutors say call records show the two men were in touch.
And Bryce.
So this is literally a movie, bro. They did the same thing that the YNs do with the Hellcats, the Trackhawks, the SRTs, the Demons, the Dodge Demons, the TRXs, the wide bodies. So you out here stealing Chevy Novas, and you just so mistakenly happen to steal it from a police officer. So you burn up the car because you're trying to avoid the evidence, and they find out, and they also able to pull your phone records to show that you was actually paying people to steal it because you was trying to get the engine out of it. Why don't you just, you can literally go online and buy a Chevy engine. You can go online and buy it from scratch. You can order it. You can order a crate engine from Chevy Performance Parts. You can go online. You can get the crate engine. You can design, it's designed, engineered, and tested. You can get the LS. You can get the small block, the big block. You can get all of that. You can buy it online and you can have it shipped directly to you. All you got to do is go and get the big block. It's the small block engines. Here's the big block engines, the 427, 454s, 502s, 572s, the 632s. You can go and get a racing engine if you want to. You don't have to go and steal it. You can go and buy it online and have it delivered directly to you. But maybe he got a boyfriend in there. I don't know. Maybe he got a boyfriend in jail. Maybe somebody that he's missing is in jail and he wants to go and revisit him, because I, for the life of me, cannot understand why you have thriving businesses. You're booming. You have a great reputation at the time inside of Houston, and you're determined to find yourself back in jail. And so you do every single crime that you can possibly commit.
We begin with breaking developments in the saga of a once popular Houston restaurant. Good afternoon. I'm Lisa Hernandez.
Adam, Andy Sirota, KPRC2 was the first this afternoon to report indictments against the former owner of the Turkey Leg Hut. Lindell Price was arrested Thursday on multiple charges.
Somebody said maybe that's why he stole it, because he didn't want to buy. No, he paid somebody else to steal it. Then you're going to have to pay somebody to pull the engine. Then you're going to have to pay somebody to put in the engine inside. Ain't nobody got time for that.
Accused of paying someone to burn down a business partner's restaurant. Our Bryce Newberry was in the courtroom this afternoon for Price's appearance. Bryce, what have we learned?
Yeah, Andy and Lisa, we know that fire happened nearly 5 years ago at bar 5015 in the Museum District. And today, Lynn Price, who is the former owner of the Turkey Leg Hut, the co-owner, he has been accused of orchestrating and paying others to start that fire. He was arrested yesterday, a source tells me, during a traffic stop after he left his girlfriend's house in the Katy area. And when they took him into custody, that source says that he was in tears. Take a look at this video we have from that fire that happened back in June of 2020. People nearby say that they felt an explosion when that happened, and surveillance video captured masked men pouring fluids around the bar before it went up in flames. Buildings and homes near that scene also had damage. And according to the federal indictment just unsealed, Lynn Price conspired and paid others to burn the place down. Armani Williams and John Lee Price, who is not related to Lynn, allegedly bought gasoline, gas cans, and face coverings at a truck stop, and then they drove to the bar early in the morning back in June of 2020 and started that fire.
Y'all do know that they got cameras everywhere now, right? They got cameras on the street poles. They got cameras at the truck stops. They got cameras at the businesses. They can basically reposition and find out exactly what time certain things happen, find out exactly what the text messages are inside of the area, see where it is that you are. You know what? Crime is just not worth it at this point in life. It's not worth it. It's too easy to get legal money. It's too easy to get it legally. It's a crime that you have to do crime to get money when you can go out and get it legally. But people don't want to do it legally. They don't want to learn. They don't want to actually work no jobs. They rather sit in prison and go and visit their boyfriend. You know you're going to have to snuggle. You know you're going to have to spoon. You're going to be spooning on a twin steel mattress, bro. And now that's when they're going to snip, because once one guy realized, you know what? Because I seen that one guy that had that gas can, and when he was emptying it out and it was getting real sassy at the end. Let me see. Let me show you. See if I can find the part where he was emptying out the gas can again. There it is. Let me pull it up. Him? He not going to make it. Watch this.
Lynn Price targeted.
Look at the one in the black as he walk away.
Former co-owner of the turkey leg hut and his own business partner, all for financial gain.
They didn't show the rest of it. Yeah.
So John Lee Price, who allegedly started and got paid for that fire, and his attorney just spoke with us outside of court this afternoon.
Nah, he not gonna make it, bro. He not gonna make it. Yeah, that's it. That's it. You got a spoon. You're gonna become a busto. It ain't worth it, bro. It ain't never worth it. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. You got a spoon with another grown man. And he gonna be holding you. Like, he gonna be holding you tight. Because he missed his wife. And he trying to get back home, but he got to do his time. You know what I'm saying? And because he got to do his time a certain way, he got to make sure that he comfortable. And who you think gonna be his comfort? Who you think gonna be his comfort? You? He gonna put his leg over you? Morning, afternoon, and night. They ain't got nothing to do except for lift weights, read books, and then make sure that they use you for whatever it is that they need to use you for. And they ain't even got to pay you. Morning, afternoon, and night. Like a meal. They'd rather go without a meal in order to make sure that they get you. They all best friends in there. You know what I'm saying, Just Montina? Shout out to C Will in the building. I appreciate you, C Will. C Will says thanks for the values always. Still back chasing and running it up, listening to the greatest morning show on earth. Shout out to my dog, C Will. You've been with me for a long time too. Running up that bag. Bottom line news says just join the bag chasers. Thanks for the opportunity. Can't wait to use the information. Correction, Mr. Daniels. Make that 16,615 bag chasers. Facts. Blindly support black businesses, they said. Get out of here. Quentin says Turkey Hut, aka Truth Nightclub. If you know, you know. No. AD Texas is GM Heaven. F is he doing? Right. Florida Panoramic says we try to keep it real when we should be really trying to keep it. It has some dope old schools too. Without question says, man, I sure hate that the turkey leg hut is now permanently closed. I sure wanted to eat there, but I just couldn't wait in that long line. They had a long line. I don't know how they was moving it, and I don't know how they marketed themselves, but they had a long line. Anton, when will we see your crimes? On tour, the I Choose You tour. I'm committing crimes on tour. On the I Choose You tour, said he was gonna be doing a stanky leg in jail. Oh, that's not good. That's not good. Courtney Egger show. Shout out to Courtney Egger. I appreciate you for the fireball. On the I Choose You tour, that's where you're gonna see my crimes at. What's up? What's up, y'all? How y'all doing? What's going on? On tour. I keep on trying to not do the tour, but y'all keep trying to force me to do the tour. If y'all just leave me alone and let me do the show and let me figure it out We'll all be good. We'll all be good. I'm going on tour. Start next week. I'm not going to wait at the meetup. I'm starting next week. Next week, I'm going to be out of town. I'm going state to state, city to city, and I'm going on tour. And I'm going to give preference to women that are already in relationships. And if they choose me, I'm going to choose you back. Ladies, come holler at me. I'm coming to a city near you. I'm going far and wide. I'm going to Middle America. I'm going to Idaho, Wyoming, Texas, Mississippi, Arkansas, Los Angeles, New York, North Carolina, South Carolina, Virginia, Baltimore, Florida, Tennessee. I ain't never visited Memphis. I want to get some Memphis barbecue. I want to visit Memphis. I want to go and see what Seattle is like. I got to go and see everything. I know it's some good people in all of these places, and I can't wait to go. I can't wait to go. Fayetteville, Arkansas, I'm coming. Louisiana, I'm coming. LA, I'm coming. I'm coming through. Nebraska, yes, I am. New Mexico, yep. Tulsa, Oklahoma, yep. Go to visit Umar's school? Nope. I'm going to Memphis. I'm going to Memphis. Yes, I am. Pennsylvania, yep. Huntsville, Alabama, yep. Yep. Get the minds out of the chat, girl. Yep. I'm going everywhere. St. Louis, yep. I'm going there. I'm coming to a city near you. I'm going to read the super chat shortly. Vermont, yep. I'm visiting everywhere. Kentucky. I'm going to go to Kentucky during the Kentucky Derby. Vegas, I'm coming back to Vegas. I'm coming back to Vegas. And I like to stay at the Vidara because they don't have a casino inside of the Vidara. So me and her can get some quiet time. We can get some quiet time. Because I'm not just going to be like, yo, let me hit you, let me bust it down. I don't do that. I want to vibe. You know what I'm saying? I want to give her an experience. I'm going to tell her. And I'm going to tell her that I love her. You know, I love you, right? I really do. I mean, even if it's just for the moment, I genuinely love you. I love everything about you. You see that scar? No, he keep telling you that them stretch marks and that scar. You had his kid. You had his kid. He don't appreciate you. When's the last time he told you that he appreciates you? That's not love. That's not love at all. And nowhere in the world, I ain't never seen a human being tell somebody that I ain't never seen that before. What did he do? You know what? Don't think about it. Don't think about it right now. Don't even think about it right now. Come here, let me kiss your scar. I don't see it as a scar. I see it as a war wound. You fought to be here, and I'm going to fight for you. Right here, right now. That's not a scar. That's a war wound. That's a blessing. That's a blessing. I can't believe that he don't kiss you. He never kissed me. Come here. Baby, I want to do all of the things your man won't do. I'll do them for you. Let me go ahead and get over to this next part of the show. So, Trump wants to remove Trump wants to remove Harvard's tax-exempt status, ladies and gentlemen. We got to talk about it, all jokes aside. We'll get back to the I Choose You tour on After Hours tonight. But Trump wants to remove Harvard's tax-exempt status. This is some of the things that he had to say at a cabinet meeting with his secretary. Check it out.
I don't think I've ever worked so hard to try to fire myself. We're certainly making great strides in that. We've reduced the folks over at the Department of Education by about 50% now through our RIF program. And so we've closed a lot of the district offices, consolidating. So there are a lot fewer people working a lot more efficiently in the Department of Education. The commissioners of education in every state, and I was at a meeting with them not too long ago for not only our states but our territories. They are thrilled with the opportunity now to be able to have more control over the education in their states, to get rid of a lot of the red tape and regulation that's kept them from doing what they're doing. So we're seeing, I think, great improvements. We'll see test scores. I believe it'll take a bit for them to be able to go up, but I think now that they're going to have the opportunity to put in their own programs, we'll see that grow. At the same time, we've been focused on higher education for our universities. We've returned proper enforcement of Title IX protections to schools. We have stopped funding to Columbia, for instance, and some other schools for not only Title IX but Title VI infractions. And those are moving along. I think we've brought people to the table. They know that you're serious. You meant what you said. You're going to make changes.
Yes, as Linda
their
McMahon.
Campus is safer again. Anti-Semitism was just out of control in many of our universities. And so some tried to, in fact, Harvard is sued, and they're saying that it's, First Amendment infraction. No, this is civil rights, safety on our campuses for our young students, who are there. And with Pam's help and the task force that we formed with HHS, with GSA, with other agencies, we're going to make sure that our campuses are safe. And so there's a lot of good work going on. I think one of the biggest things, you'll be very happy to hear this, Mr. Vogt, that we are putting back into place collecting on our student loans that have been delinquent since March of 2020. And no effort to recollect on these loans. So as of May 5th, the letter goes out that the loan recollection is beginning again. So for those people who have borrowed money and who've not been paying, that's just not to be punitive. There are many ways that they can go online to understand how they can get back into the right payment structure, because when they're in default, they can't buy a house, they can't buy a car because their credit scores are down. So it's helpful to them as well as to get this money back into the
Linda, listen, I didn't even know we was going to go down this pathway. Linda is basically breaking down before Trump even starts to talk about Harvard's tax-exempt status. See, this is what they meant by revamping the Department of Education. No, it's not going to go away. It's not going to be used to hold you accountable and to hold these schools accountable. What she's basically saying is, listen, before you go out and buy your new car, before you go out and buy your crib, before you go out and spend some money on some stuff that you're not supposed to spend it on, let me help you to understand something. Not only are we going to garnish you, but we're also going to make sure that we address this on your credit score. We're also going to make sure that you understand that there are ways for you to be able to pay this back. They are not messing around. They are not. Listen, I know it's a lot of women that's online. It's a lot of sassy men that's online saying, I'm never paying my student loans back. I don't care. Student loans should be free. It should be exempt. They not messing around. Next week, the first show that I do, let me see, Saturday is going to be the 3rd, Sunday is going to be the 4th, May 5th, Monday, May 5th, they are going to start kicking in the garnishing and the removing of wages and going after people for these student loans. They are not messing around. They are not messing around. She's telling you right now, out of her own mouth, exactly how this is going to play out.
Not to be punitive, there are many ways that they can go online to understand how they can get back into the right payment structure, because when they're in default, they can't buy a house, they can't buy a car because their credit scores are down. So it's helpful to them as well as to get this money back into the country. I mean, $60 billion of increased student loan debt since 2020. And in total, we've got almost $1.7 trillion in student debt. So we're gonna start getting it back. And Scott and his team have been incredibly helpful. We appreciate that so very, very much. And
they not messing around, bro.
lots going on in the department. And what I would really like, as I'm firing myself, I'd like for you to be known as the education president, because of the best in practice systems that we want to put in every state to incorporate AI, so that we are training these new entrepreneurs and business leaders in our country. We can't do it with the infrastructure we have in place today. So we have to be working on that at the same time. So we're going to be doing that. So thank you for your charge to elevate education so that we are providing for every student access to excellent education. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Linda. And what's going on with Harvard and some of these colleges that are taking vast amounts of money, who also have vast amounts? They've got $52 billion and really scamming the public and hiring people like de Blasio and Lori Lightfoot, who were certainly two of the worst mayors in the history of our country, paying them a fortune of salary and having them teach our children how to manage cities and how to manage government.
Wait a minute. Harvard paid de Blasio and Lori Lightfoot to teach on how to manage cities, and they are some of the worst mayors of all time. New York, Chicago? No way. No freaking way. You're not going to sell me on that. That is crazy. That is no freaking way you're going to sit here and tell me that they actually paid them. They paid them money to go and teach students at Harvard? Oh, we've really fell off as a country. Our universities, our prestigious universities have truly fell off. And let's be clear, everybody can get this work. The same way that I went off on, what was it, Morehouse? Or was it Howard? When they had deplorable conditions for the students out there, it's the same way that I'm going to go off on Harvard and all the rest of these universities. No way, no freaking way that they paid these people to come in and teach classes. That is crazy. That is insane. No freaking way. So this is how they using y'all money, y'all tuition money, and the money that comes from federal government?
What's the word as of this morning on, let's say, Harvard?
Well, we're negotiating with them. When we went back to them to say we welcome them back to the negotiating table, their response was a lawsuit. So Pam and her team are helping work with that. And I am, enjoying the fact not only am I firing myself, but I'm now being sued fairly regularly by different departments of education. But we're staying tough with them. The other thing that we're looking at also are the 117.
Eric D says they're not going to do it for free in time. I think that they can find better candidates. What's next? Tiffany Henyard, she going to be going to teach a classroom at Harvard also? Is Tiffany Henyard going to go and teach a class at Harvard? De Blasio, he got removed out of New York and then he got the nerve to be running again. He got removed based off of what he was doing during the pandemic because of all of the people that died and his mismanagement of city funds and resources. Ditto for Lori Lightfoot. The only reason that she got elected and she got ousted after her first term is because of diversity, equity, and inclusion, and because she was the first Black woman gay mayor. Come on, fam. What we talking about? No way in the world you think that it's a good idea. Hey, let's get Tiffany Henyard in there while we at it, and let's her teach a class at Harvard and give her a bag too.
Team violations of these big universities like Harvard and others.
Oh, I'm sorry, that was Cuomo. You're right, Cuomo. My bad. Thank you guys for correcting me. This is one of the reasons that I have the chat as my co-host. You're right. You're absolutely right. That was Cuomo. I retract that last statement. You are absolutely correct.
As they're required to do by the law, foreign money that comes in and how much that is and where it comes from. And so that is.
And students.
Yeah, and it's very serious.
Where are these people coming from?
Yeah, exactly. Sir, we pulled back their grants because Harvard isn't responding to us, criminal activity by their students. And until they give us that list, they're not getting any more grants from Homeland Security.
I've recently read a report that said that Harvard is now asking their professors to take a pay cut to try to basically blunt the force of what is going on with the Trump administration while minimizing the impact of what is going on with their endowment. That is the word on the street, that they are now asking professors to take a pay cut so that they can start to share in the pain of what is going on at the university now that they're no longer going to be receiving funds while they're in this lawsuit with the Trump administration over these funds, these research and these grants, and what's coming from Homeland Security.
They deserve Won't hold up in court, I don't think, Andrew. The IRS can only revoke tax-exempt status if an institution is in clear violation of the law or public policy. It's happened before to Bob Jones University in 1983. It involved racial discrimination, but most experts say this probably, he says it's what they deserve. I'm not going to comment on whether it's what they deserve or not. I got my own feelings about that, but I don't think it's possible to do it legally. And I think it would not prevail in court.
I think it's unlikely he'll prevail in court, but I think the worst part is there are lots of students who will be impacted by this. And by the way, there are schools all over the country that are now being impacted by this already.
Unilaterally, they are. Again, there are a lot of other students that were impacted by something else much more serious that Harvard failed to address and is failing to address at this point. So I don't know which students you feel more affinity towards or empathy with.
I don't think it's about which. I don't think it's about.
Well, you always try to take away the anti-Semitic part of this and go back to. I'm not sure what that they're allowed to just hire all liberals for 40 years and not hire any conservatives.
Anti-Semitism, that's one thing.
Okay, well, that's what started it. That's what started it.
If you want to talk about the ideological perspective,
right. They're allowed to do what they want, but maybe not on taxpayer money.
But that has nothing to do with, when you say taxpayer money, now you're talking about there's grants,
okay,
which are one
You're
thing.
talking about tax-exempt status now.
Tax-exempt status is a very specific thing.
They probably argue that public policy, they're in violation of what the university needs to do in terms of
they getting feisty on Squawk Box on CNBC.
Public policy with the way they operate. That's what the Trump and it won't hold up.
But it won't hold up.
It won't hold up.
But that's the point. If it won't hold up,
because maybe they can put enough leverage to get them to so many other universities voluntarily complied. Harvard's fighting
voluntarily. I mean, this is a shakedown.
Okay, whatever you want to call it.
Let's not say it's nothing has been voluntary. It's like the whole thing is a shakedown.
Could be a better world when it's all said and done.
Okay.
Ends justify the means.
The ends justify the means.
No, they don't. But that's what you would argue. If you can get more tolerance on
the ends do not justify the means. It is impossible. At some level, you have to believe it. Democracy is about a process. It is.
This is not a democracy. We live in a republic that's governed by the Constitution, buddy. This is not a democracy. Even though we operate with a democratic process to elect who it is that we want in office to serve the needs of the people, this is not a democracy. This is a republic. I need liberals to understand that. I need liberals to understand that this is not a democracy. We are in a republic. Why do people keep saying that? That is governed by the Constitution. And nobody owes anybody anything. And so you don't get money from taxpayers to do what you want to do when you want to do it. You don't get entitlements here. That is not how this works. You now have to meet the expectations to make sure that you are doing the thing that you're supposed to do on university campuses, and to make sure that also you have representation from all sides when it comes to how it is that our children are being taught. These are institutions of higher learning. These are not entitlement programs that is owed to them from taxpayer dollars. And honestly, to be honest with you, I personally believe that these nonprofit organizations need to have a closer eye placed on them. I think that they've been doing a lot of stuff under the guise of being tax exempt. Churches too. Oh, don't even talk to me about these for-profit churches. These churches, in my opinion, are for-profit. These churches, institutions of higher learning, all of these places, I think that they are for-profit. 100% for-profit. Make sure you guys hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. Let me read some of these super chats. Listen, I promise y'all I'm going to be better on Monday, but today I got this black shirt, this black t-shirt. I got to get this energy out, all right? What's up, my guy? Hope all is well, says the Courtney Egger Show. What up, Courtney? I appreciate you, big dog. Now, Shewater says, Slimmy said he is the same thing. He said the same thing that Myron said, but I never heard Myron say, huh. No, but I love you in the crew. Slimmy that guy, y'all. Y'all sleeping on Slimmy. Slimmy is part of the, like, he really make the show. Abe the Hunter says he gonna cry in a cell. That you'll never go to Alaska. I bet you I will. I bet you I'm gonna be in Alaska. I only want to go to Alaska either when it's all daytime or all nighttime. I don't want no split. I want to go to Alaska so I could be doing stuff in the daytime and it's got like 24 hours of sunlight. Yeah. That's when I want to go to Alaska. I bet y'all never heard of that, have y'all? Alex says, I have no department and got things straight. Just listening to your perspective on things changes the mindset. A+. Got into investing because of a mindset change. Listen on the daily and stay the hell away from news. Yeah, I like that. Chris Cunningham is in the building, says, you know you a good time, right? You know you a good time, right? Gas Guy, shout out to my dog. Gas Guy says, Houston and Frisco, Texas. Come on, you got me, dog. All right, bet. Tour coming soon. I think again. Next week sound about right. Spacer says it's unfortunate because I had turkey leg hut at the meetup in Houston and it was delicious. A little ghetto, but delicious nonetheless. What a waste. Well, it's a void in the marketplace. Skinny Boy says, you got me singing all the things. Ain't that Joe? All of the things your man won't. The Abundance Mind says, you giving him too much game, big dog, slow down. Whiskey says, Anton, sir, in my opinion, you should have a channel for role play skits. It would be amazing to see you act out with others. Some of these real life scenarios of people see you in your phenomenal acting. I can act in real life. A lot of people don't know that. I can act and I can do improv, stand-up improv. Some of y'all may not be familiar with that. Jay Ben says, shout out to the healthy, toxic bag getting men, the ones that can make those weak men's girls' insecurities feel like trophies. Facts. Don't be shy about that little Ziploc scene. Let me take a look until you smile. She got a Ziploc. What are your thoughts on the Mike Waltz swap? I haven't studied it. I need to look into that. I heard he basically got fired. So I haven't studied it. I'm not sure exactly what's going on with Mike Waltz. But Elon Musk recently did an interview with Fox and he talked about the massive fraud. Hold on, wait a minute. Let me get some comments in it. Rocco said, you ain't going nowhere but Detroit. Rocco, I'm coming to a city near y'all. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. I heard they got vampires in Alaska. Is that true? Because they got like 24 hours of nighttime for like 4 months or some crap like that. I heard they got vampires. Do y'all know about vampires? They got the center type of vampires, or they got the dusk till dawn type vampires. What kind of vampires they got over in Alaska? Elon Musk is said to have done an interview with Jesse Waters that said that the massive fraud at Doge, or that Doge is finding, is crazy. He said it's crazy. Let's go ahead and get into that. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications.
We met the whole crew, even big balls, and they showed us how Doge really gets done. We sat back, listened, and we learned a lot, and we hope you do too. Here's part one of our exclusive interview. Elon, thank you so much for bringing us into the meeting here. I'm going to do something no anchor ever does. I'm not going to talk.
What?
For as long as possible.
You're talking right now.
I'm going to let you run your meeting, and then I'll interrupt when I'm bored. So take it away.
So, like a board meeting.
Like a board meeting. Exactly.
All right. Well, I guess we normally go around the table, say what do we get done this week?
Want to go this way?
Sure. No, we start with you.
Sure. So actually, a lot of great work at the Treasury this week. One of the crazy things with regards to the Treasury is that when a payment is made, and the computers at the Treasury actually pay about $5 trillion per year, like crazy amounts, there was formerly not a budget code on there. So if a payment was made, you didn't know actually what it was for. It could have been for anything.
Yeah.
There was a $4 billion COVID fund in the Department of Education, and there was no receipts required. So people could just draw down on it. And when people looked into it, this wasn't us, this was before us. They found that money was being used to rent out Caesar's Palace for parties, rent out stadiums, etc. And so the one change that Doge made with Department of Education is we had the simple requirement that if you draw down money, you must first upload a receipt. That was the only change that was made. You must upload your receipt. And upon doing so,
Yes.
nobody drew down any money anymore.
Yes, but
That's insane. That is insane. That is genuinely insane. That is crazy. So people were able to draw down on the money to use it for whatever it is that they wanted to use it for, over $4 billion. That's crazy, bro. Now you see why these Democrats and why these people are so angry that Doge is going in and finding all of this fraud.
we didn't say that we'd check the receipt. You could send a fake receipt. You could send a picture of your dog. Anything. And but as soon as we asked for anything at all, suddenly the requests were like, oh, we don't need it anymore. Huh, that's interesting.
They were renting Caesar's Palace.
Yes, they were like basically partying on the taxpayer money.
Stadiums.
Yes.
Leasing stadiums. For what?
For parties, basically.
For parties.
Yes.
That's a big party.
It's a big party.
You'd think if you were stealing, you'd start small.
They do start small. But then what happens is over the years, so generally the fraud starts out small and they try to hide it. But then year after year, if nobody stops the fraud, it gets more and more brazen. And every year it gets bigger until they're literally renting out stadiums. What's
that, $1 million to rent out a stadium?
Fraud in flagrante delicto, okay? We're talking at scale.
This is driving me crazy.
Oh, yeah.
When you find these things, do you guys get mad? You're like, yes, I got one. How does it make you feel?
It's so common.
It's so common.
You're like used to it.
I mean, you just get
so numb to it.
Unfortunately, the 100th time you've heard it, it's hard not to get a little numb.
Yeah.
You know, but
that's crazy, bro. That is insane. So you basically telling us that the biggest fraudsters, the biggest abuse that is happening is basically our taxpayer dollars going out the window and nobody cares. Nobody cares. Look, bro, you know how you like see certain things, or you see people say stuff like, oh no, man, the wealthy, they don't say nothing. This is why they don't say nothing. What you think all of these people got rich because they created a business? No. These people ain't getting rich because they created a business. They getting rich because they was in the right rooms with the right people that allowed for them to steal from the American taxpayers. Bro, for so many years, so many people have stolen so much money. How can you be a public servant? How can you be somebody that works for the federal government and get rich? Like, that's not confusing to y'all. Nobody ever stopped and said, wait a minute, why are all of the Congress people rich? Why are they so dedicated? Why are they so, if these people are millionaires, Congress people and stuff like that, didn't come in that way. But if these people are truly millionaires, how do you become a multi-millionaire making 174? And that's how much they're making now. How do you become a multi-millionaire and make 174,000? All they doing is what the mob did with the Teamsters unions and the unions that they set up in order to establish Vegas and stuff. Man, these people are evil. So you richer than me? So all you do is attend a meeting every day. You don't do nothing. You don't actually work your butt off. You don't add no value. You don't create any value in society. I am up till 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm back up at 7:30 a.m. in order to get ready for the next day. I live, breathe, work, grind, hustle every day. Every entrepreneur, every person that has started a business, everybody that I know personally that got rich, behind the scenes, they grinding. And you're telling me that these public servants, most of them, have a net worth, a hidden net worth that is exponentially more than most of us, all of these entrepreneurs, and these people just got rich just based off of just being lucky. And they spend millions, if not billions of dollars to get reelected every term. And they're fighting against term limits. Man, get the heck out of here, bro. That's why they hate Elon Musk. This is why they are staging these protests. These protests is not just coming up. Look, everybody that you see outside of a Tesla dealership, everybody that you see protesting on a front of some city, these are paid protesters, a lot of them. Secondly, the ones that are not paid, they are sheep. They are being manipulated to basically try to preserve the resources that is being stolen out of their own tax dollars. Imagine being a person that is protesting for somebody to keep stealing from you. You know what that's like? That is like us. We are the people, the family members, we are the people that see a girl that's getting beat up on the side of the road, right? And if you go over there and you try to help her, then she may help her boyfriend beat you up because you're trying to save her from herself. Democrats and liberals are in an abusive relationship. That's all it is. Democrats and liberals are in an abusive relationship with their oppressor. You know what y'all are? Y'all are modern day slaves. You are the person that is fighting against, going against massa. Y'all want to talk about racism. Forget the transatlantic slave trade. Forget black people. Forget all of that stuff. Y'all are in slavery. You are enslaved by the very people that you are voting for, fighting for, crying for, and they are taking your money and they spending it while at the same time using you to promote them, continuing to stay in power so that they can oppress you and overtax you. This is literally slavery. This is literally an abusive relationship. We are trying to save you against your abusive boyfriend that keep beating you in your head, but you don't feel like he loves you unless he abuses you. I do know that, Jackie. That's what I keep trying to convince people that don't understand their history. That's why I call it the plantation. That's literally why I call it the plantation. I call it the plantation because people are fighting to stay on a plantation that is not good for them. And then you know what y'all do? Y'all have children that they can then bring right back into the plantation, and you can be a cotton picking knit nanny or whatever it is that they call. And they find so much fraud that they numb to it.
And by the 200th time, you're like, well, okay, it's just another day at the office.
We checked, is the Small Business Administration giving loans to dead people over the age of 120? The answer was yes, and it was around $330 million in total. So
people with a birthday that could not possibly be real.
Yeah.
Meaning they're over 100, they're 115 years old or older. The oldest living American is 114. So it's safe to say if anybody is in the system as 115 years or older, that is fake.
So just by sharing a database and looking at social security numbers that showed that at the time of the loan, they had listed as over 115 years old, or actually under 11. We didn't even check for under 18.
Babies and dead
under 11 years old. That's pretty clear.
Babies
right?
and dead people who are getting loans.
That was $660 million.
And also people with birth dates in the future.
What does that mean?
Well, in one, I mean, I think the birth date, I think in one case was like
fetuses were getting
no,
loans.
not even. No, really sort of you're talking about like your great grandchildren, like with the birth date, like I think it was like 2165. So more than a century from now was the birth date.
George Jetson was getting paid.
Yes, because your birthday is in the future, like the far future, not like next year.
Right.
And this is either fraudulent or we have your birthday wrong.
It's either a typo or someone stealing.
Which is it? Yes.
Right.
Yes. You should at least ask, which is it?
Do you guys feel you're getting justice and accountability?
One of the I think extreme examples of non-accountability in some cases has occurred at some of the small agencies. I think the Inter-American Foundation, IAF, is one of the agencies we visited where they get $50 million a year, congressional money, to give grants. These are things like, alpaca farming in Peru, improving
That's a real example.
Yes, that's the real description. Improving the marketability of peas in Guatemala.
Really?
Fruit jam. Yes.
What? Yeah.
And so you might expect, in the private sector, a nonprofit to give, 80 to 90% of their money to grantees. In the case of IAF, that was 58%. So the other half goes towards management, travel.
What we're to find exactly, to Ethan's example is that even if you agreed with supporting alpaca farmers in Peru, well, actually, most of the money never made it out of DC.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus.
It's going into the pockets of people in the neighborhood.
What percentage?
Didn't even get to Peru.
Right. So what percentage do you think doesn't even get to the destination it's supposed to?
I believe the GAO estimates, so this is not our estimate, I believe it was on the order of only 10 to 15 cents on the dollar actually gets to the end recipient, whether you agree with that cause or not.
So
y'all want to know why everybody in DC is rich, or everybody got these multi-million-dollar houses, but they got a public servant's job? Hey, remember when I don't know if y'all remember this. This might have been before y'all time. I used to watch House Hunters, and they would go to a place like DC, and this is real. Y'all know that I'm telling the truth. And they would be like, okay, so a husband and wife, they are going to go and purchase a house together, and the real estate people would say, okay, so they would always ask them what their budget is first. Well, our budget is $1.5 million. Now, this was back like way before. This was like 07, 06, 07, 08, maybe a little bit before, maybe a little bit after. Oh, our budget is $1.5 million. Oh, okay, well, what does your wife do for a living? She's a beekeeper. Well, what do you do for a living? Oh, I'm a public servant and I work at a nonprofit organization in DC. I'm the director of a nonprofit organization in DC. Wait. So well, my wife isn't actually a beekeeper. She makes sure that she harvests the pollen from bees. How much does she make a year? I think she makes like $37,000 a year. Well, wait a minute. Y'all budget is, and we used to be sitting there, but honestly, I used to be sitting there and I'd be thinking to myself, all right, should I be going to school to be a beekeeper? Should I be going to school to be a public servant? Their budgets was crazy. They was getting vacation homes and stuff, and it was so overt that nobody even tripped. I couldn't understand how these people had such huge budgets and how they was about to pay this house note, and they was just looking at these super mansions and stuff like that. And I was like, wait a minute, what is going on here? Is everybody rich but me? Because I know that I'm going through a tough time because we got layoffs going on and stuff like that. But what is did I miss something? I never understood. And this is why. Because people have been low-key robbing us because we are the ones that pour into the federal coffers for years.
So they're just stealing the money before it even gets anywhere.
There's layers of stealing. So there's the first layer of stealing, second layer of stealing, third layer of stealing.
Subcontractor.
You start peeling the onion. Yeah, exactly. Contractor, subcontractor. It's like peeling an onion. And then maybe, and sometimes it's zero. Just flat, you get to the bottom of the onion, there's nothing there.
So maybe no one got a sex change in Guatemala.
It's possible that no one got a sex change in Guatemala.
I overheard a contractor tell one of her colleagues to falsify billable hours by creating a PowerPoint to mask a delay in the onboarding process in front of me. And this is like hour zero at this agency. And so, I mean, this is just a common theme that you take a look at these contracts, you take a look at these grants, and it's veiled in noble rhetoric. It's at the top level. It
sounds good.
Yeah, it sounds amazing. And then you actually just follow what are the funds actually doing?
Or send us a picture.
Exactly. And
the send us a picture request is incredibly good. Like Pixar, it didn't happen. And then it wouldn't be that hard to just, frankly, they could search for some fake pics on the internet or get AI to generate the pics, but they don't even bother doing that.
So you caught them cold billing fraud.
Oh, I caught them her advising her colleague to do this because it takes a few days to onboard. So that is being investigated right now.
Yeah, I mean, generally, like these programs, these grants are going to be like along the lines of save the baby pandas, and it's like, well, of course, who wouldn't want to save the baby pandas? And you know, in some cases, they've got a show panda, which they will trot out for special occasions. In a lot of cases, they don't even have a show panda.
No panda.
There's not even one panda, because we asked for pictures, and we don't even get one panda. And it's like, well, you gotta. Well, that's a lot. You know, what does $1 billion get you? It does not even get you one panda.
You really want to see a baby panda?
Yeah. Well, like, you know, like the Ebola money. We're like, okay, well, we agree with, like, we shouldn't have Ebola. You know, where's the money going? Oh, it's going to Deloitte in DC. Like, what is an accounting firm doing with Ebola money?
What has been the biggest resistance? Is there one agency? Is there one department that when you guys walk in, they all start fighting you, start hiding
Wait, I thought
things?
you weren't going to talk.
I'm sorry.
But I guess you can answer that question. Sure. I mean, let's. Yes, we've certainly had some battles.
Battles.
Yeah. I mean, who should talk about USIP?
Nate.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So Jesse, there's an agency, a small agency called the United States Institute of Peace. It's definitely the agency we had the most fight at. We actually went into the agency and found that they had loaded guns inside of their headquarters. Institute for Peace.
I mean, any given company, any given organizational name is going to be kind of be the opposite of the title.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so it was by far the least peaceful agency that we've worked with, ironically.
Of course.
Additionally, we found that they were spending money on things like private jets, and they even had a $130,000 contract with a former member of the Taliban. This is real. We don't encounter that at most agencies.
Yeah.
What was the money going to the Taliban for?
So it was a contractor. They received $130,000 for generic services. And to Elon's point, there was not actually a clear description of what the contractor services were for. But
was it for opium?
Unclear.
Or weapons?
Or nothing.
Or nothing.
or a bribe.
Or nothing.
And you naturally have to ask the question, well, how did we get here? Like when the country was founded, there were only 4 agencies. Today, there are over 400. So there's been a 100x increase in the number of agencies since the founding of the nation. And thanks to President Trump, he's now signed 2 executive orders to start to reduce the number of agencies in the government, and the Institute of Peace was one of them, which is why our team went in to try and understand what was going on. And that's when we found all of the craziness, like the weapons in their armory. We found the payments to the Taliban.
You know, this is absolutely disgusting, especially since you'll see Biden and you've seen Kamala Harris and you've seen Bernie Sanders, and they were running around talking about, we need to tax the rich and make them pay their fair share. What? What? Tax the rich, make them pay their fair share. We need to raise taxes. We need to do this. We need to do that. Man, they all in on it. They're all in on it. Every last one of them. None of them are clean. None of them are clean. And it disgusts me. It aggravates me. It truly makes my blood boil. And what makes my blood boil even more is that you can play this interview if somebody has the patience to sit through it. A liberal, you can play the interview for these Democrats. So you can play the interview to say, hey, this is why we need the Department of Government Efficiency. And they'll play you something from Jasmine Crockett back. Makes me so fucking angry. Just aggravates me. It genuinely burns my soul. Make sure you hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Shout out to Marriage, Politics, and Sports. It says, where are the perp walks who rented out these stadiums? That's what I said. Glad Elon is back strong enough to carry this podcast. I don't even know what that means. What does that even mean? Glad Elon back strong enough to carry this podcast. Oh, this is Alan. Y'all remember Alan, right? Y'all don't remember Alan? Alan is the person that hang TV mounts. He's a TV mount hanger, and he creates his image, and he's animated himself in an image, and it's called Hangman TV Mounting LLC. That is his profile picture. Hangman TV Mounting LLC. Hi, Alan. Hey, you back? What's going on, Alan? Alan Trent hangs TVs, and he was the one that was trolling us before. What's going on, Alan? We like you, bro. Alan. Big dog. Do you want to go there? Are we doing this? What's going on, Alan? How you doing, big dog? Are we doing this, Alan? Oh, come on, man. Don't do this. Don't do this. Don't do this. Why are we doing this? What kind of ship is that, y'all? Can y'all tell me what kind of ship that is? Right there. What kind of ship is that? I don't know. Can somebody tell me what kind of ship that is? I see that ship in the water right there. What kind of ship is this? Like, what's on it? Is it like oil ship or something like that? What kind of ship that is? A cargo barge, oil tanker? That's an oil tanker? Okay. It's an empty cargo ship? I'm trying to understand exactly what kind of ship it is. I don't know what kind of ship it is. Does it carry containers? Does it carry containers or does it carry oil? Is there something inside of it? Fuel for ships? Always like to learn as much as I can. Low profile ship is usually oil. Cargo ships are huge as F. Battleship, that's funny. Oil tanker, something supposed to be sitting on top. If you see a lot of pipes, it's oil. It's hard because we're so far away. Shout out to my girl Black Beauty, a container ship. Going to drop off some tariffs in Canada. Containers. All right, well, I'll have to do some research because I don't know what kind of ship that is. So y'all ever seen a boblo boat? Have you ever heard of the boblo boat? They turned it into something different. This is the old boblo boat, y'all. Let me show you real quick. See that one right there? That's the old boblo boat right there. And then they building a hotel that's under there. You see the hotel that they building, a new hotel right here? It's gonna be dope. Anyways, make sure you guys hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Marriage, Politics, and Sports says, oh, hold on, let me go back to Mr. Lot says they literally wrote checks to Star Wars characters and aliens. You can't make this stuff up, says Glacoris. And DP says, if you want to piss yourself off and get a deeper understanding of how we give money to the Taliban, you should try to interview former CIA agent Sarah Adams. I have to write that name down. And somebody send that to me. Somebody email that to me. Facts. You ain't lying, boy. We got problems over here. But, on the flip side, I say that this is first world problems. I say that this is first world problems. You ain't lying. Absolutely. I am absolutely devastated. I need to figure out what's going on. It's going to mess up the view from this way. From this way, it's going to be straight. But from this way, it might be problematic. So that may be problematic. Anyways, make sure you hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. Ban Jones, ban Glorious. Protected by the red, the black, and the green. With the key, sissies. Van Jones apparently did an interview where he was, or did a story or an article for MSNBC or CNN, as a matter of fact, where he basically went through and he found several Trump supporters, black Trump supporters, and he wanted to know how they felt about the current administration and the job that they're doing. And so I have not seen this, but I figured that we want to share this with the class and have a conversation about it and see what you guys thought. This is Van Jones' breakdown.
We started off the broadcast tonight with the president's cabinet shakeup, and that's, of course, only a fraction of what's unfolded over the last 102 days of the second Trump administration. The question is, what are voters making of it all? CNN's Van Jones has been talking to Trump supporters dating back to 2016. He is, as you know, a Democrat who is a former senior advisor to President Obama. For tonight's report, he met with a small group of black voters, a man and woman from South Carolina and another woman from North Carolina, all of whom voted for President Trump. CNN's exit polling shows Mr. Trump got 8% of the black vote in 2016, and that grew slightly into the teens over the next two elections. Here's Van's report from Greenville, South Carolina.
There they are.
You do well.
And here we are in South Carolina with 3 Trump voters. You weren't always a Republican.
No. Actually, I come from a family that was like super Democratic. My first time voting, I voted Democrat. I voted for Joe Biden.
What about Trump?
That's the story from a lot of us. A lot of us come from hugely, I'm not really sure that there are black families. Black families collectively, that collectively vote Democrat. I'd be curious to see one. I mean, collectively vote Republican. I'd be curious to see that if there's a family that historically mostly all voted Republican, not even just this year, but just historically, because the reason that we have such a disadvantage is because our cultural norms is messed up. And so, we believe that we have to vote Republican or we have to vote Democrat, and we have to overcome the matriarchy. We have to overcome stereotypes in our own families. We got to overcome our culture, and we have to overcome our voting patterns, right? So it's so much that you got to overcome within the black community. And I think that I'm not sure that there's a family. I can't think of a family at large. And I'm not even talking about just your immediate family inside of your household. I'm talking about your whole family that would show up to the family reunion that do not vote Democrat. That do not vote Democrat. I think they all vote Democrat, 100%.
Trump appeal to you?
Am I allowed to cuss?
Yeah, you can.
I mean, part of it is he's an asshole. I like authenticity.
You voted for Obama, and then you voted for Hillary Clinton in 2016. But 2020, you voted for Donald Trump. What made the change?
I began listening to someone. Her name is Candace Owens, and I read her book, and it just opened my eyes to maybe he's not this person that I have been led to believe that he was.
So you voted against Trump in 2016.
Yes.
But then in 2020, you voted for him?
Absolutely.
Why?
I saw how things were going during his first term, and I was pleasantly surprised, and I was pleased with what was happening. I saw the economy getting better. I saw country relations in certain countries getting better.
What are some things that he's doing that you do like?
For me, I like the border. I just don't like the idea of someone coming here illegally and getting benefits that can serve my community. So that's the reason why I support him on that border policy.
When you think about the border, you think about people coming here who are getting more help than people who live here and who were born here.
Yeah. And I got that perspective not from news channels. I got it from social media. TikTok is like a holy grail. We even see it with the things that we learn about the United States government. Outside of the United States, people are showing Americans, hey, look at what's going on. Do y'all know that your government is doing this? Have you seen this? Have you looked at it from this perspective?
You know, people, when they think about a Trump voter, they usually think about like a white dude with like a red hat on and a pickup truck. And y'all are not that at all. So Donald Trump's team went in, they took down Harriet Tubman's picture for a quick minute. They're trying to like knock out the black museums. What does that have to do with the price of eggs, and how does that impact you?
In some ways, it's a slap in the face. In other ways, I don't care. I care more about how I'm going to take care of my children.
I don't think the average American cares about that. I know I am sick and tired of seeing Black people sit there and complain about something, but not taking action and steps to actually try to change things in an appropriate manner.
Under the Trump and
Biden. And we see that this is heavily edited, so they don't want her to get her full thought off. But she basically said that I'm tired of people complaining but not taking responsibility for their lot in life. She said, I'm tired of people complaining but not taking responsibility for their lot in life. And she didn't call them out like how I call them out, but she definitely addressed it. And she said, listen, people is capping. They're not taking personal ownership and responsibility of their life. And now they want to blame Trump for it. I'm amazed at the amount of people that's blaming Trump for a lifetime of issues that they got in their life. It's not uncommon to see a 40 to 50-year-old Black woman complaining about Trump. I mean, 60-year-old Black women I've talked to. I mean, my own mother, for God's sakes. My own mother is approaching 70. As beautiful as she is, she's approaching 70. And you're telling me that within the last 100 days, that the decisions that has been made in your life, and you're close to 70 years on this earth, that Trump is the person that messed it up? Get the hell out of here. I'm not going for it. I talk to people that be 40 and 50 years old, and they talking about Trump. Like, fam, you do know that you've been here since 1975, 1970, 1965, 1960, 1960, and you're talking about Trump? Bruh. Seriously. I see Black men that went to jail during Obama or Biden's administration. I seen a Black man. I know a Black guy that went to jail during the time that Clinton was in office. And he came out talking about Trump. And I was like, no. Like, you better off talking about Bush. At the very least, listen, I'll give you Bush. For all of my liberals, I'll give you Bush. I'll offer up Bush as tribute. Both of them. 1 and 2. Preferably 2. I'll give you 2. I'll give you Bush 2. I think that Bush 2 was absolutely horrible, horrific. One of the worst presidents in my lifetime. Honestly, I place Bush 2 as a conservative, as a Republican. I place Bush 2. I think that Clinton actually was the precursor to Bush, and Bush 1 was the precursor to that. I give Bush 2, in my personal opinion, I say Bush 2 is the worst president in my lifetime. No, wait a minute. Biden is right there with him. Biden with Kamala Harris is right there with him. We got to let their legacy shake out. We got to find out what the rest of Doge is finding. But Bush 2, I volunteer him as tribute. I volunteer him as tribute. I don't have anything good to say about Bush 2. You say Biden was worse. That's probably because you wasn't alive and you wasn't really active. And you know what I'm saying, during Bush 2. Bush 2, in my opinion, absolutely horrid. Horrid. Bush was the worst president, in my opinion. He right there with Biden. The only reason I don't give it to Biden, and I think that this is a personal preference, the only reason that I don't give it to Biden is because I had grown to a point to where I learned how to get rich regardless of who's in office. So financially, I'm personally not affected, but I do see the impact that it's having on America. And so that's the difference. Bush, I suffered under Bush. As a result of Bush, I suffered. I personally suffered. I personally dislike Bush. And so that's the reason why I give it to Bush. Honest to God. Honest to God. And then he used 9/11 to get himself reelected to stay in power when he was losing. My lifetime ain't nothing worse than 08. Nothing worse than 08 in my lifetime, personally. Seriously. I'm just going to be honest with you. And I'm a conservative and I'm a Republican, and I don't fuck with Bush at all.
Biden administration, they came to certain agreements with police departments to be less brutal toward the Black community. Trump has now ended all that. How does that help the Black community?
I have a lot of issues with police reform and just with how police officers are treated as a whole. My husband is currently going through the process to become a police officer. The amount of hatred that cops get, even the best ones, I think has become a huge problem, because it has been, especially around election times, when it definitely comes out of like, oh no, the cops are bad, the cops hate you because you're Black, they're immediately deemed as evil.
This man is talking about running for it.
Let me tell y'all something. For those of y'all that's saying, how did it affect you? Bro, we lost probably close to 1 million jobs, hundreds of thousands of jobs as a result. Listen, y'all sitting here complaining about Biden and the state of the economy. I know Bush was worse than Biden. And this is just real talk. Because a lot of times we have revisionist history. There were no jobs. Y'all complain, oh my dog, it wasn't nothing to work at wasn't no fast food restaurants, wasn't no sanitation, wasn't no janitor jobs, wasn't nothing. It was no jobs. You know what my first, my first like regular normal job back in the workforce during 2008 was a call center, right? And I was working at a call center and I was working at an insurance verification. We was doing insurance verifications. And it was a place called Butco. It was in Highland Park, Michigan. And you know what we were doing? We were auditing companies. Companies were going through and doing audits. Auto companies, every single type of company that you could do. They would hire us to come in and audit whether or not people were supposed to be on their insurance in order for them to save money so that they didn't have false people under their insurance. We were hired to help companies save money so that they can survive the recession. That's how bleak it was. That's how bleak it was. I was ground zero. There were no jobs, zero jobs. People was willing to take anything that they could. Bruh, I applied at a flower shop. People were about to, and I tell y'all this story all the time. There was a flower shop and it was this bee costume. And the bee costume will be out there. You know how the tax people be out there spinning it and doing all of this stuff like that? It was a bee costume. And I seen two dudes get into it on a potentially being able to get a bee costume to get a job. It was rough. It was rough. It was the roughest thing that I've ever seen in my life. I made up in that time and I would never go broke ever again. I took the approach that I was willing to stay down for 20 years in order to get rich, because I was like, nope, this will never happen in my lifetime again. This will never happen in my lifetime again. And then I caught a big break. And then I went to school also. So I caught a big break selling something selling an app. Bruh, I worked so hard. I had 3 jobs, bro. I was doing insurance verification, I was doing sales, and I was working at Home Depot overnight. I had 3 jobs. I was stacking shelves. I had to work in a stupid plumbing department. And plumbing had all of these little parts or whatever like that. So, and I remember it because this one guy, he used to play the same songs every single night. The first song that he was playing Young Dro. Yo, my girl got a girlfriend. I remember him playing that. I just remember him playing Young Dro and T.I. every single night. And he was working on a high-low and he was working in the lumber department. And I had to come in and I had to first start doing returns and I had to start stacking the shelves for the plumbing department. And I was like, this can't be life. This cannot be life. I was willing to work anything I got my hands on. I was going to hustle. I was going to grind. And I made up in my mind that my daughter would not know the life that I had to suffer through, or she would not have to experience the stuff that I had to suffer through. She wouldn't take out no student loans. She wouldn't do none of that stuff. I got the battery in my back and I hustled. I was working almost 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and I was going to school. And when I would go to the call center job, I would sit there and I would do all of my homework because I had classes on the weekend on Saturdays, but I was going to school full time too. But I did all of my homework while I was at the call center. So I had the headset on, and I would do my script, and I would be doing my homework and all of that stuff while I was at the call center in order to get my software engineering degree. And I was going to Oakland Community College, and I was hustling. I had to hustle. I had to get it. That's why I don't feel sorry for people when everybody sit there and say stuff like, "Oh, you so disconnected. You don't understand." Boy, don't you know that why? You know why I work so hard today? Because it was ingrained in me from the things that I had to suffer through. From the time I turned 18, I've been working 16 hours a day, 7 days a week. From the time I turned 18, I've been working 16 hours a day, 7 days a week. I don't have no sympathy for people that sit there and make excuses about the American dream, because it's about the hard work that you put into it. It's about your work ethic. It's about your grind. It's about your hustle. We keep sitting there trying to whine and wanting somebody to do something for us. And save yourself. Man, everybody ain't got it like you. Everybody ain't got it like. What do you mean? I had to get it out the mud. I've been working my whole life. Hustling my whole life. Just last night, I didn't even get home until 4:30 in the morning. Just last night, I got home at 4:30 in the morning. I was right back up at 7:30. Man, some of us is just in the hood. Nigga, I was in the hood too. I just did a vlog of what my childhood home looked like. I mean, go get that. Go get it. Go get it. Go get it. I don't want to hear nothing from nobody. I don't have no sympathy from nobody because I've seen it and I've been through it. So you're not talking about somebody that didn't go and get it yourself. I remember Home Depot. I remember Butco. I remember all of that stuff. I used to go and sell door to door, business to business, hustling. Any means necessary. Feet hurting every day, doing homework at the job, going to get that junk, working on apps in the meantime on Sundays. I never went out. People was going out. They was going to have fun. They was taking trips. Anton, you want to come? Nope. I'm good. Man, you don't never go nowhere. I know. We'll talk about it in 5 years, 6 years. Man, you don't never want to come. I know. I got a daughter now. I got people that depend on me. I got a father that I got to retire. I got a mother that I got to take care of. I got real estate to buy because it's the biggest I buy an opportunity of our lifetime. Man, but you 26 years old. You 27 years old. You going to miss out on the best days of your life. Nah, I think I'm going to figure it out. I got a different vision for my life. Man, you're going to miss out. Them same people doing the same thing, going to the same places today. Honest to God, the same people doing the same thing, going to the same places today, and they complaining and they voting the same way. And it's a difference. It's a gap. And the gap is growing bigger every single day. So I don't care nothing about what these people talking about. Oh, man, dog, you a sellout. I know. You've been saying the same shit since 08, 07, 06. Man, you ain't, man, suck my dick, nigga. What you gonna do about it? Talking to. You don't know nothing about the grind. You don't know nothing about the hustle. You don't know nothing about working corporate. You don't know nothing about leveling up. You don't know nothing about sacrifice. You don't know nothing about, you don't even know your own kids. You don't even know your own daughter. I want to hear nothing about that. I can't talk to me because I'm self-made. Can't talk to me because I built it out of the mud. No loans. No inheritance, no lawsuits like they. Whenever somebody always try to discount you, I tell you what, I give y'all one thing too. Whenever there's a lawsuit, whenever there's something like that, there will always be public. It's always going to be public. It's always going to be public. You can go into the court system. You can go and look it up. You can go and look at the counties. Anywhere in Michigan, it is what it is. Go get that shit. Stop whining. Oh, I don't want to work Amazon. Nigga, I would have, man, I wish Amazon had the infrastructure that it had at that time and I could have got a job at Amazon. I wish Amazon was popping at that time. I could have went and got a job at Amazon. What y'all paying for fast food? Y'all paying what to work at for working McDonald's? Man, I would have went and got that McDonald's job in a heartbeat. Just like that. Man, it's hard out here. Dog, I'm be tired. I'm doing construction. Nigga, me too. I was doing it too. Laying concrete. Doing driveways. Busting up driveways. Working with my uncle on the weekends to make some extra money whenever I didn't have no overtime that I could work. Me too. We did concrete. We did construction. We laid that shit. And then we was working on the church on Sunday mornings before church opened. Putting the roof on and all of that shit. Nobody want to hear your bitch ass. Stop whining. Grow up. Man, it's hard out here. My baby mama keep on nagging me. So what, nigga? That's what she's supposed to do because she broke. She dusty. That's why I'm going on tour. So I'm going to show her a different life. I'm going to help her to appreciate life. I'm going to show her. I'm going to kiss her scar. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Oh, baby. Why he keep telling you that this scar is ugly on you? I think that this is the prettiest thing on you. Oh man, I'm so tired. I'm so tired. I got no sleep. I don't know what to do. I don't know. I don't got it. When they gonna give me a stimulus check, forgive my student loans. While you whining, I'm gonna be over there like, hey baby, who's this nigga? Oh, that's your man. Oh, my bad. When he take your car to go to work tonight, come on, holler at me. I'm gonna talk to you. I'll get you back home before you get. Don't worry about it. I know. He always taking your car to go to work. He'll never put no gas back in it, right? Don't worry about it. Oh, he not taking your car today? Oh, he ain't got no job? That's crazy. So wait a minute. He dropped you off to work and he ain't got no job? That's all right. Let him drop you off to work. I'm gonna send you a black truck. Take the day off. Matter of fact, take the whole weekend off because I'm gonna make sure that you're straight. No, don't worry about it. You got PTO time? Yeah, you can get your PTO time and you can come hang with me. Who knows what life is gonna be like when you get back? No, yeah, tell him you're going on a girls' trip. Impromptu. Got to go visit your family down there in North Carolina. Be down there. Don't worry about it. No, don't say nothing. Don't say nothing. What time your flight get in? Don't worry about it. Long time viewer first. Shout out to El Calvo. I rock with you, bro. Thank you, big dog. Quinn says, if you're bald headed, you're gay. Oh, is that what they said? Quinn, add it to the list. Add it to the list. Young Gladiator says, Anton, when trying to get out of debt and getting ahead in life, do you put health aside, such as working out, eating right, especially if you're working 2 jobs? I did. I don't recommend it. I think you can do both. I just didn't give a fuck. Only thing I cared about was getting rich. I'm not advising you to do so, but I didn't care, bro. I didn't care about nothing. I had tunnel vision. I had tunnel vision. I felt like I can come and talk back to y'all after that. Let me get rich first. Getting rich was the most important thing to me. Plug Race says Bush is the worst and people suffering and lost homes. Facts. AG, did you have an opinion on D.L. Hughley? What did D.L. Hughley do? Tell me what D.L. Hughley did. Toya Blue says Biden is the worst to me when he mandated the jab. Yeah, I feel you. I feel you on that. Mr. Febreze says Trump signed Operation Warp Speed his last year in office, which was the beginning of the jabs. Biden just so happened to be in office at the time. Fukari Ferry says delayed gratification is the hardest lesson to learn when you come from a poverty mindset. It's lonely climbing to the top, but it's worth it in the end. Absolutely worth it. Jesse V says you stayed down and now you up. How do you handle people who didn't do the work? Because those same people try to make you feel bad for reaping a reward. I don't see them. Where? They don't. They not in the same circles. They don't. What you think that they around? That's just talk. That's just chatter. That's just talk. That's just chatter. The people that criticize you for not doing the work is like internet thugs. They don't come out the house. They don't come out the house. People that get mad at you for not doing the work. I get love. 100% love. I don't run into people in real life that have anything negative to say about me. Everybody show me love in real life. I have yet to run into a person that recognized me for the internet and said that they're gonna hold me accountable. I seen one comment from a guy in somebody's chat and he said, "Yeah, man, I seen Anton in his Porsche and he looked at me and he looked scared." I go, "Where? Where? You can't even see in my car. It's tinted on all sides. I don't see it." So you'll be surprised that you don't see what you think you're gonna see. A lot of it is just on the internet. You know what I'm saying? Dre with the K says went from laying concrete to laying pipe on tour. Same field, different locations. Flyers coming soon. If you can't afford to stay healthy, you can't afford to get sick. That's true too. Shout out to Quinn. I want to talk about one more thing before we get out of here. Jesse V says, thanks for the gems. I'll change my circle. You got to change your circle. I want to share this real quick. This is a video of couples that are choosing to live a life without children. It just kind of popped on my timeline. So I said that I wanted to share this with you guys and get into it. So I'm going to share my screen with you real quickly, and then I'm going to continue to read Super Chats. This is a video that was done. And let me see who this is from. This is courtesy of CBS Evening News. All right. So I'm going to get into it.
Boomers, including President Trump, turn 80 next year, and the youngest become eligible for Social Security. He is pushing for a second baby boom. With the U.S. birth rate declining, Mr. Trump is considering incentives for having kids, including a $5,000 bonus. But for many young couples, there is no amount of money. Nikki Batiste has tonight's Eye in America from Just West.
I do know that was a joke that he said that. Well, it was mentioned to him, and he was like, sure, why not?
West of Mar-a-Lago.
$1,000 bonus.
You were everything that Tiana and PJ Morales said their I do's 7 years ago.
I'm super excited to take the next step in our life.
As newlyweds, they traveled the world, and before too long, they say, family would ask if they plan to have children. But the Florida couple says they're not having kids. Not now, not ever.
When you have told people you're child-free, what have the reactions been?
Why?
Yeah, I'll get typically a blank stare or, oh, really?
Like pity?
Yeah, pity. Like you don't want a mini you running around?
Tiana, now 37, says when she was younger, she assumed she'd be a mom. But after spending her early 20s as a nanny, caring for 4 kids at once, that assumption changed.
It just dawned on me, is this what I would want to do every single day?
The U.S. fertility rate has plummeted in the last 2 decades and now sits near record lows, according to CDC data released last week.
A lot. You know where else this has kind of happened and take place, but obviously much quicker and at an exponential rate? It happened in Japan. It happened in Japan. They're trying to encourage people to have more children. But having children is for 2 different groups of people, in my opinion. Having children is for poor people, and having more children is for rich people. God, I can't believe I gotta have this conversation because now y'all gonna get mad at me talking about Anton saying middle class people can't have children. Listen, having children is for poor people and having children is for rich people. rich people that are selfish enough or have the ability to be selfish enough to be able to take care of them. Because let's be clear, on one end, having children is a great responsibility because the children didn't ask to be here. And so a lot of times it is your responsibility to make sure that they have everything that they need to be able to thrive. Now, the misconception, well, okay, that's the rich people. Rich people have children that have the ability to be able to take care of them. I still think you need to be a present father and mother. Stay together, make sure the children are taken care of. Cool, they can afford them. We got that segment out of the way. The other side of it is rich having children is for poor people, right? And so when you talk about poor people having children, most of the time, poor people have sex because they don't have nothing better to do. Sex in a lot of ways is a coping mechanism for poor people. So, you know, I've seen people on the side of the road that ain't even got no fucking house busting it down for a real one. And so a lot of times poor people have a lot of kids because they do it out of ignorance. They have a lot of sex. They a lot of times are also benefiting. They're incentivized to do so because they're benefiting off the federal government. But here's the caveat to that, though. They're keeping up a system that's designed to benefit off of poor people. When you talk about the prison industrial complex, it's more likely that your kid is going to be a criminal. That's going to be a profit sector. When you talk about the lowest class and the jobs that a lot of times people take on, most of the times they are jobs where people have to do and put in the minimal amount of effort. And so as a result, you know, because contrary to popular belief, now we got to have some uncomfortable conversations. Popular to contrary belief, rich people don't groom their children to do regular jobs. That is a marketing tactic that comes from the poor and from the middle class. You know, oh man, I could just get a job. Man, you don't need a high school diploma. That is created so that we keep society up. You need a bunch of Starbucks workers. You need a bunch of fast food workers. You need a bunch of these type of people in order to make sure that the lifestyle that people that have resources can be sustained, because we're not going to do the jobs. And this is one of the reasons why you see a lot of times people like Jasmine Crockett and stuff talk about immigrants, illegal migrants, because they're trying to sell you on the idea that, well, you don't want to do the job and we got to have somebody else do the job. So essentially we're having a slave class, a poor class. And so they tell you to continue to have children because they need some people to fill these jobs a lot of times, because they know that even though the jobs are supposed to be a jump off point so that you can then, you know, make more money and be more comfortable and retire, that most people, then you throw in the marketing aspect of financing, well, they got you for life, right? Liberal arts, going into certain professions. When I hear people a lot of times that say, well, Anton, everybody don't want to be rich. They just want this, want that. Oh, I know, then you are a part of the slave culture. It's nothing that I can tell you to say, hey, man, you want to work really hard or you want to have that job for the rest of your life? Or why are you doing the same job as a high school student used to do in order to get there? And don't get me wrong, it's nothing wrong with working a regular job. I just stopped working in corporate America for the second time at the end of 2014. But it's not supposed to be something that you do for the rest of your life unless you are a part of a culture that then systematically places you and slots you to fill a role in a position where the rest of society is benefiting. So if you like to be the person that is sold on the idea that, hey, buy stuff based off of your wage, you know what the worst thing for society, let me break it down from this lens. You know what the worst thing for society would be? If everybody became more financially literate and started doing things that made sense to save money, live a better life, and to make smart decisions with their finances. That will absolutely be the worst thing for the United States of America. That's how you know it's a system. You don't have to be a part of the system. You don't have to break out of it. When I have these conversations and I say to people sometimes, I say, hey, listen, you know, this is how you get rich. And they say, well, Anton, everybody can't be rich, because if everybody was rich, then nobody would be able to do your work and nobody would cut your lawn. And I say, I know, but that doesn't mean that you have to be poor. I have a segment of people. I don't speak to the whole world. I'm speaking to you. I'm trying to empower you to be rich, right? So The worst thing for society, for the United States of America, is if everybody decided that they wanted to be fiscally responsible. Well, you would have a collapsing of the banking system. You would remove the power from the United States of America to leverage with tariffs and be able to negotiate with other countries because we're a consumer nation, right? We would have to actually do things, make things, be productive, be self-reliant. But the world can't be self-reliant on us because we're the biggest consumers. Why? Because we finance everything. We raise our budgets based off of how much we make per year and how much our monthly income is. And that's how we determine whether we want to get a mortgage. Even the mortgages that they give to you guys, the reason why they started giving you a mortgage in the first place, because you used to have to save and buy your home. The reason that they gave you a mortgage in the first place is because it was a way to increase profits at the bank. They didn't do it because they actually cared about more home ownership for you. They did it so that they can make more money for the banks. So the banks hate people like me because I don't leverage banks or I don't do business with banks outside of having them, allowing for that to use it as a brokerage account to invest money or whatever, or to transfer money back and forth. But I don't borrow anything from the bank. So I'm a leper. I look good on paper because I might have a high credit score, but I'm a leper because they can't make any money off of me. And that's a problem. But they can think about it. Poor people, they make more money off the banks than they do for me. They can't make money off of me. So now you see collapses in an entire system because you don't need it and you no longer have the power that you have because the power that they give you is like a consumer nation. I'll give you another example. Here's another example, right? Do you know why casinos, and I'm an expert, do you know why casinos treat me so good or they treat high rollers so good? It's because they know that they spend a lot of money. You think that they would treat them good if they didn't spend a lot of money? They don't treat them good because their net worth is high. They don't treat them good because they're high-profile clients. They treat them good because when you put that number inside of the system, they say, oh, wait. That's big dog over there. Give him anything he wants. Drinks, rooms, flights. Give him his own personal host. The reason that they treat you well is because of the way that you spend money inside or the potential for them to be able to win money off of you because you play at such high limits. They don't treat you well because you're great. And it's the same thing when it comes to banks. It's the same thing when it comes to consumerism. It's the same thing when it comes to society. It's the same thing when it comes to life. They don't like you because you're just a good person. They like you because of the potential to make money off of you. Duh. So the fact that you are a consumer, China never liked the United States of America. Chinese people like Americans because they make a lot of money off of them. Give a piss about you? Right? So now when we start talking about kids, we went on the other end of the spectrum. Okay, poor people have kids because they're bored, they have a lot of sex, they don't really use contraception, but they create another slave class, right? They feed the system, they feed the beast. Well, the worst part to be in is in the middle class, right? Because the middle class actually have similar work ethic as people that make a lot of money, as the rich people. They have a similar work ethic. They don't necessarily have the results, but they have bad habits that mimic the poor class. Why? Because you having children but not understanding the true costs that come along with it, especially when you have more than one, makes you interdependent on the system while at the same time keeping it up. Well, who's going to take out all of the student loans if only the rich people are going to school, right? Who is the people that's going to buy all of the homes? Who are the people that go and buy all of the food? Who are the people that's going to take the vacations to Disney World and all of this stuff? It's an entire system, an entire demographic of people that are marketed to based off of the fact that you're having kids that you just so happen to be almost affording, but not quite, and need a little bit of help. And that's the thing that's going to keep you working, because the more children that you have, the longer you're going to have to work in order to keep them in this debt-driven system. That's ultimately you're going to teach them to do things like you, and then they're going to go out and they're going to finance them, because the poor people ain't financing homes. The poor people ain't out there buying these $400,000 and $500,000 and $600,000 homes. It's you. And so they're not looking at people that are buying homes today. They're looking at the potential customer base of tomorrow. They need the people to buy the homes. They need the people to finance the Klarnas. They need the people to buy the cars. They need all of these things. But if you don't have a demographic of people to do so, then this entire system itself collapses. So they have to keep you in debt, so to speak. And one of the ways that they do it is to give you the perception of freedom while at the same time thinking that you're on the same level as everybody else. And that's why they call it the middle class. The middle class is the only class of people that have a 3-tier system. It's lower middle class, solidly middle class, and upper middle class. When you get rich, when you get past, let's say, 10, 12, $13 million in net worth, it's all the same. You don't have no thing. But the thing that keep you driven is the idea that you can do better. So you take out the student loans, you take out the car notes, you take out all of this stuff, and you don't even think about it the same way. It's more dangerous to have children as a middle-class person because you'll never fully reach the threshold. It's much more difficult to climb the mountain with rocks in your backpack. That goes for debt, that goes for children. You got to work 10 times harder to have children because you not only got to take care of the children, you also got to try to achieve your dreams. It's much more difficult to invest in yourself. So when you see a person like these people that's on the screen right now, and they say, well, you know what? I'm a dink. Double income, no kids. Double income, no kids. That means that they just living their life and they enjoying life. You are a leper. You're not good for society. You're not good. You may be responsible, but responsible is not what we want. We need degenerates. That's why the Black community is so valuable. The Black community is so valuable. You know why? Because we've taught ourselves culturally to market to ourselves the most degenerate behavior that then keeps the system up. And now you're in a new form of slavery because you'll never be able to free yourself from debt. You'll never be able to free yourself from student loans. You'll never be able to free yourself from the mindset that you need to go out and finance stuff. You'll never be able to free yourself from busting it down for a real one or being a part of the hospital system because you don't use protection when you have kids, or you're going to continue to fund Planned Parenthood and you're going to come and do the dumb shit. You just going to keep on being a part of a system that is not going to be ideal for you. You're going to pay the most taxes because you're the most ignorant, the most educated, really the most enrolled, but don't really understand how money works. And that is going to be the leverage that they use to keep you a part of the Democratic Party that also is a system that perpetuates the worst thing to keep you on a plantation and is not going to make your kids any more successful. You are going to make 6 figures, still be in debt, still be living paycheck to paycheck, be paying for your kids to go to school, buying them all of the nice clothes, and at the same time, you'll never make any progress, and they're going to be in the same position, if not worse, and they're going to sell your house when you die. And you're going to get taxed on it. Because we're not intentional. We don't even plan. We don't even understand how money works.
Some young adults say high costs are holding them back. Others fear climate change or are putting their careers first. But many say they simply don't want kids.
We are raised to believe that it is our destiny to become parents.
Amy Blackstone and her husband Lance decided years ago to be a family of just 2. Blackstone, a University of Maine sociology professor, has published a number of studies on those who call themselves child-free by choice.
Child-free person will say, I valued my relationship with my partner so much.
And you know what else they'll say to you in order to try to get you to have kids? Well, who gonna take care of you when you older? Bitch, I ain't gonna care when I'm older. What do I care? I'm not here so that I didn't have kids to create more slaves to take care of me. I had a kid because I actually seen the value in creating something that could add value to society while at the same time putting them in the best position possible. I'm here to take care of the kid, not the other way around. Hopefully they make the earth a better place as a result of what I put into them.
Much that I didn't want another party changing that relationship. A parent will say, the imagined relationship with a child is so important to me that I want that relationship.
For you, was it financial? Was it not finding the right person, the lifestyle?
When Tiana's friends began having kids, she started organizing occasional get-togethers for others who want to be child-free.
It just seems like every time you turn on the news, something bad's happening, and it's just not the world I want to raise a kid in.
Can't control climate change. I think everything else is fixable, but that, I'm not so sure.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how confident are you in your decision?
I'd say 9.5.
What's that half point?
I grew up in a big family, and the holidays were always surrounded by a large family. It's fun, and so as I age, what will holidays look like? Will they be just as fun? I don't know.
A choice, theirs and only theirs, made with careful thought. For Eye on America, I'm Nikki Batiste.
I don't fault people for not having children. I fault people for having children irresponsibly and subjecting them to the worst of society and saddling them with student loan and putting a water bill inside of their name. I saddle from that. I think that children are a blessing, but children are a blessing if you do it the right way. So many people are teaching their children the wrong thing. So many people are fucking their children up. It's a lot of kids inside of these homes that's getting molested and stuff like that. It's the worst. It's the worst. And I think that monsters are now raising monsters. And usually when societies become more educated, when they become smarter, they have less children because they now have opened their eyes to the reality and the truth. Unfortunately, poor societies and communities are the ones that have the most children. It's just the facts. It's just the facts. And I'm talking about the entire countries. If you go over to India, if you look at China when they had the child boom and they had to basically put a pause and say, hey, listen, you can only have 1 or 2 children or whatever like that. It was because there was a developing nation. And a lot of times, people who have sex irresponsibly are the ones that are the more financially strapped, and they're the least responsible. And you can see it in their life, and you can see it in the amount of children that's on Section 8 when they're walking through the grocery store. Some of y'all think that your mother did a good job because she raised you and she did the best she could, and y'all was raised on Section 8. Nah, your mama was dumb. Your mama was dumb as hell, bro. Your mama was an idiot. She was busting it down for a real one. I'll tell you the truth. Oh, she did. That don't mean don't honor her. That don't mean don't take care of her. That don't mean that, you know what I'm saying, whatever. But let's be clear, bro. She was raised in poverty, man. And they didn't know no better, but they did the same thing that the system did. Now that you know better, now that you need to do things better, do you want to raise your kids in a substandard environment, or do you want to be a little bit more intentional with how it is that you take care of business? I can't answer that question for you. I can only tell you the truth. I can't answer that question for you. So, oh man, we was raised in a big family. That's because your grandma was a piece of shit. She was selfish as hell. And that's why you a son husband. And she keep telling you, where's my money? And she made you start paying rent when you was 14. Nigga, you got revisionist history. Your childhood was your childhood was trash, nigga. Your childhood was trash. You got revisionist history, and society has taught you that your childhood was good. In reality, your childhood was trash. You was raised under duress, crackheads, all of that stuff. Your childhood was trash. Hand-me-downs. But we was provided for them. No, nigga, you hated them hand-me-downs. Hated everything about them. Wasn't nothing cool about them. Hated them hand-me-downs. You had holes in your socks. Your brother was sleeping in the same bed with you with his feet in your nostrils. Get out of here, bro. You don't even know if that's your real brother. Y'all don't look alike. Should have had paternity tests at birth. All of that. Anyways, let me go ahead and read some of these super chats. I know y'all don't want me to rant no more. It's Friday. Tony Nichols says, Anton, you were cooling earlier. Sometimes you bother me, but that is the key to success. You got to be able to glean and receive from those you don't necessarily agree with. Appreciate you. Shout out to you, Tony Nichols. Courtney says, listen, I'm using my job in VA as a leverage to level up, grinding and putting together plans with my assistant, ChatGPT, to get this content bag. We ain't playing. Get it. Young Gladiator says, if they want to have kids, update family course. This reminds me of the movie Idiocracy. It's a real thing. Now, I'm not telling y'all that y'all shouldn't have children. What I am telling you is that just be intentional and mindful of how your children is going to be affected if you don't have the resources to be able to provide for them. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Children are a blessing. Children are a good thing if you put the right things in. But sometimes people raise demons. That's all I'm saying. All right, y'all. It's Friday. Thank you guys for continuing to tap in. We got after hours tonight. Make sure you guys tap into the Patreon. Say, Anton, we love you and your authentic self. I can't be nothing but that. That's all I know. That's all I know. After hours tonight, let's get it in. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Patreon members, tap into the Patreon. The best time to join the Patreon is the beginning of the month. And I'm gonna see who's gonna get this $100 per person. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I'm gonna holler at y'all later. Peace.